Hello, chat. Can you hear us is the first question, because I'm never sure of this. Oh, hello, Voodoo Lukerensky. Alright. Open volume mixer, just in case. Alright. And sound is working here, except for Mark? Damn it. Alright, let me fix this again. Okay. It's because how dare you put in headphones?
Oh my god. Like, the number of sound issues. I don't know why computers have so much trouble with just routing sound around.
Okay, chat, can you hear everyone now?
Check, check.
We audible!
Check.
Woohoo!
Can you hear me?
Me now? Can you hear me
Yes,
now?
we're audible.
Can
Hear
you
us.
can you
I'm
hear
going to
me
be
now?
the stream now.
Yes.
Nice feedback loop.
So hi chat, I'm about as competent as ever, yay, happy Beltane. Still
Voodoo, they still can't hear Mark.
What? Seriously? Can you hear Trackus? Or Ned?
I can hear
Voodoo,
you.
can you hear me? I'm just going to be staring at my screen waiting on a response because of the delay.
Mine's super slow too for taking the feed, so.
Okay.
Okay, they can hear me.
They can't hear me. How does that even work in Zoom?
It's Zoom itself that is going through my desktop audio, so everyone should be audible, unless Voodoo Lukerensky is messing with Mark in particular for some reason.
Which could be possible. You never know.
VLK, are you trolling Mark? Shame. He's very low.
Low.
Okay,
Yeah,
well,
I think
yeah,
you are louder than the rest of us.
I think you two are louder than Mark.
Hmm.
That's probably
Do I
it.
just need to speak up when I talk? Is that gonna make the difference?
Eat the mic! Or yes. Yeah, alright, well,
Just gotta shout all the time.
Okay.
You speak with your stage voice.
It's,
Hell-
hey, I'm a trained actor. It's been like, 25 years since I had any training, but I can still project.
It's just like falling off a bicycle. Awkward and annoying every time. So hello chat, this is Magic Fish Radio, and I am running things off of a cliff as always. Today we are not playing our usual Exit to Eden game, because of several real-life crises hit several of our regular players, and the rest had other stuff to do in advance. So, since most of us met through Demon Hunters, a comedy of terrors, this is our eternal backup game, and I can roll a new adventure of this in 1 to 2 hours. Woohoo!
The hard copy book. It's so beautiful.
The fancy book.
I have
So
the digital
fancy.
copy.
Yeah, I do too.
That's fun.
I've got that one too, but digital.
I don't know, what is the name of the current Zombie Orpheus Fantasy Network shop? Or can they just get it on Drive-Thru RPG?
Drive-Thru RPG, I know has it.
Yeah.
That's where I keep my copy.
I think also the Fantasy Network. If you go to the Fantasy Network, to the store section of the Fantasy Network, you can now get everything there. And if you can't, and I'm wrong on that, like we were saying, Drive-Thru RPG has it, and the store at Fantasy Network will have it in like the next week or two. There's a whole new set of merchandise and stuff coming to the Fantasy Network that will include all of the Demon Hunters RPG stuff.
Woohoo! Yeah,
including, like, fancy.
Cool.
Yoo-hoo! Yeah, I dare say, if you just want the PDF book, you can probably just go through Drive-Thru RPG, and there's also independently published Demon Hunter supplements, because most of Fantasy Network's properties are open source, more or less?
Creative Commons.
Creative Commons. So there's a lot of fun, independent modules and things that you can get online. Let me just unceremoniously pour all my dice on the table. Very loudly.
There's a lot of stuff on Fantasy Network that is not set up for Creative Commons licensing and stuff like that, but anything that is OU stuff.
Yeah. I'm never sure what to call them anymore. So like, we're the Fantasy Network, and I'm like, yeah, but your IPs are Zombie Orpheus or Dead Gentleman, or they have so many names.
Here, I can straighten it all out for you, okay? So, Dead Gentleman Productions is now just a license of the Fantasy Network. Those of us that created Dead Gentleman Productions, like myself, sold all of our ownership in it to Zombie Orpheus Entertainment. So, Zombie Orpheus Entertainment owns it, and it's basically a brand for the comedy side of Zoe. The Fantasy Network is a separate organization. It is a fan-owned, massive corporation thing. You can buy kind of stock in it. I don't totally understand the like stock market side of it, but it's owned by all the fans in shares of stock in the Fantasy Network. It's run by a board of directors, and it is a collaboration of over 70 independent fantasy film organizations throughout the world. So there's 4 companies that kind of founded it all. Zoe was one of those 4. There's also the company that produces like the Rangers and Mythica and a couple of other bigger indie fantasy film series that founded it. And there's now over 70 companies that are all part of it. And so if you subscribe to the Fantasy Network or whatever, and then watch different shows, those shows are throughout all kinds of different organizations, and each organization gets a little bit of funding when you go and watch their show through the Fantasy Network. But it's a whole umbrella. And so there's a store and a Patreon and a Kickstarter alternative and all that kind of stuff built into the Fantasy Network as well. So there's all kinds of stuff in it. But Zoe is kind of the company, and Ben in particular founded the idea, created the idea behind it. And so Zoe's stuff is a little bit more prolific and more usually the first things that you see on Fantasy Network from like the store has tons of stuff from Zoe and only a few things from other film companies so far.
But yeah, if you are
makes sense.
If you are an indie film, if you are a nerdy fantasy, sci-fi, indie filmmaker, want to be person, writer, etc. Oh, like our guest player today, definitely get on the Fantasy Network Discord and make some friends. Cause
yeah, I really should do that more. Because Dead Gentleman was what inspired me to like, you don't have to try to go the Hollywood route to make a movie. You know, I just saw these guys like, no, we don't like it. We're doing it ourselves. It's like, I like these guys. I want to follow them.
That was actually part of the foundational concept behind Dead Gentleman Productions, was not being like Hollywood. So
yes,
that is still the case.
And in character, you were totally the Bandit King. Fuck corporations.
So every time I see you now, I'm just going to picture you running from an arrow.
A lot of people do. That's
I mean, I know you're so much
the
more
reality.
than that, but to me, you're the guy running from an arrow.
I also can be hit by an arrow and die multiple times, so that's why I was cast in that role, was because I could fall down without hurting myself. It was a rigorous audition process.
How many times can you take an arrow to the chest?
At least 4.
That you know of.
Okay, sir, just thank you, Vampiric Yoda, for buying some Demon Dice and Faith Dice. Chat, you will notice our channel points game is a bit different because we are running a different system. So Demon Dice, think of Demon Dice as being for me, and I start with 3 because I start with 3 players, and that is 1 more. And the Faith Dice you are buying is a pool for our players. Faith Core is an interesting mix of and yeah, I never said players couldn't use channel points, so have fun, guys.
Sorry, Yoda. Nightbot's being mean again.
Oh, god damn it, Nightbot.
Come on,
Okay.
Nightbot, loosen up.
You're gonna have to massage Nightbot here and get Nightbot to calm down a little bit.
So yeah, this is, I believe, our first game night with Nightbot, so I apologize in advance for all the shenanigans about to take place.
Nightbot's intense.
Yeah. I tried to get it, hopefully it won't penalize you for posting links, or me for posting links. We'll have to see what happens.
That'd actually be kind of hilarious if Nightbot is modding you.
Bad channel. Don't post links in your own chat. How dare? And it's like, oh, okay. But anyway, demon dice are something the players can use, and it refreshes every roll, and they can add as many as they want to any of their dice rolls to add to them. They're these nice friendly little black d6s. And whenever they use one, I get one to use for my own NPCs, which is totally fair and nice. Faith dice are a temporary resource that expires when they use it to roll extra special things on their character sheets. But sometimes when they use Faith die, I get demon dice, but it depends on the circumstances. But if you buy them, it's just for the players. So you can also still drop NPCs on us and come up with new aspects, because this is Faith Core. This Demon Hunters, a comedy of terrors, runs on Faith Core, which is an interesting hacking together of Cortex and Fate. So aspects are a thing. And if you want to add some kind of weird complication to the scene that isn't an NPC, save them channel points. Yes, also explain it in chat, actual Dracus, because I am on a lot of coffee and very little sleep, and we'll see how this goes. But anyway, if you haven't noticed, I'm the GM. I do this. Yay. Dracus, who are you playing today?
Hi, I'm Dracus. I'm playing Shay, who is the pseudo-living college student. I, over-caffeinated and died and clumsily resurrected myself. So, yeah, shenanigans ensue from, unsupervised magecraft.
Woohoo!
So are you like mostly undead? Is that like
Sorta.
Okay.
It's weird.
And one of our guest players tonight is Mark. Mark, who are you, and who are you playing today? Aside from being one of the founding Dead Gentlemen, or
Yeah,
if that's enough.
Yeah, I'm Mark Thomason of Zombie Orpheus Entertainment, and as Chris was saying, founding member of Dead Gentleman Productions, and I run the studio at Zoe, which is where I'm at right now, down in Tacoma, Washington, and I will be playing Spot today. And Spot is a puppy dog who has become a demon hunter just by kind of showing up and deciding that he wanted to be a demon hunter, because Spot is the latest in a very, very, very long ancestry of thousands of years of dogs who pass their knowledge on to one another. So Spot is just like any other dog that you might meet, except that he also happens to be a super genius with thousands of years of knowledge.
Woof.
Oof.
And as I started my streaming career playing a feral cat on Dawn's Demon Hunter stream, I certainly will not turn away a sentient dog. Super pets are valid. And now we come to our other guest player today, who is playing Undead Ned, one of the pre-gens in the Demon Hunters book series of supplements. But who are you otherwise?
Oh, well, otherwise, I am Andy Johnson. I warp films on YouTube and Twitter. I do random sketches, and I'm also the GM of Trick Roll. That is a D&D game over on Geeky Side TV.
Cool. All right. So, if you've watched this do Demon Hunters before, this is going to be a lot like the games I typically run. Merc does all the fun, sentient car stuff, but my games are all stuck in New York City and all of its ridiculous amounts of deep lore. Long story short, before I get into this, we've also opened our Discord to the fans. There's a link on the Twitch page and the Twitter. Go for it. Join now, join later, whatever's. Anyway, we're stuck in NYC again, where it used to be surprisingly quiet Demon Hunter-wise. There was Theta 5 was the main chapter, there were a couple of Omega chapters, and it was just, most people who come to New York do so to just be left alone by whatever the hell it is that's chasing them. But in 2008, the city decided to renovate Washington Square Park, accidentally cracking open a hellmouth. And yes, hellmouth, because it is the mouth of a hell river. that is now known as Minetta Lane, which was the Minetta River, which was the Hell River. Because, like I said, NYC deep lore, and I know a lot of it. Not all of it. No one knows all of it. Like, there's a lot. We're not quite Europe, but by American standards, NYC is where the history comes from. So deal with it. So ever since the Hellmouth woke up in 2008, things have gotten much, much worse in New York City. But because of red tape, Theta 5 can't get any more leveled, established teams in the city, so they just now have up to a dozen Omega teams at any given time. And Omega teams don't always last long. So they did get permission to open up something they call NYC Auxiliary, where they invite demon hunters from all over the world to come to New York, fight some demons, and in return will get you an okay hotel room and Hamilton tickets. So, y'all are not officially a chapter, but you do all have the equivalent of a chapter aspect, Vigilante Tourism. Unless any of you decides you want to be a local, but even if you are, you're still hanging out with the tourists today, so you can still use the tourist aspect. I set this up to use at conventions when running Demon Hunters there, so people could just take whatever characters from the big book of pre-gens they want, and they don't have to all be in the same chapter. And it's been pretty cool so far. But yes, so yeah. Sit back and enjoy. Our heroes, our protagonists. No, there can be heroes and demon hunters. This isn't the World of Darkness. It's like World of Darkness, but it's funny on purpose. Which is why more of my LARP friends won't watch and have already panned my whole channel. It's like, how dare you, Chris? Grimdark is serious business, how dare. Anyway. So yeah, y'all came in through Amtrak, through... You can't, unfortunately, use the warehouse doors to travel to New York because of the radiation from the Hellmouth. So y'all have to come through Amtrak, or the highways, or the airports, but ultimately, any mass transit you could possibly want is in New York. Spot had... So Shay and Undead Ned probably got here through one of conventional means, but how did Spot get here? Or was Spot just here the whole time like a Vorlon?
I think Spot was probably born in New York, and so Spot just kind of was checking stuff out and wondering what was going on, and encountered a few demon hunters and followed them home. And so I think he's officially, in his mind and unofficially to everybody else, joined Theta 5. And whether or not Theta 5 is aware of this, I'm not really clear. But
so the head of Theta 5 is a grizzled old vampire. Well, old kind of goes to territory. Grizzled old vampire, only known as Stogie. He has probably noticed you because he's basically the ancient Nosferatu in the sewers who you don't fuck with, but doesn't show up to court anyway. Because can you tell I played a lot of World of Darkness? It's ridiculous, but I played it. But yeah, Stogie has noticed, and honestly, Spot kind of probably remembers and has an inkling that Stogie is at least as old as New York City. Other ranking members of Theta 5 are Granny Flax, who is this, like, 80-something-year-old computer hacker goth lady who's also super old, but as far as you're aware, human. And Fran. Usually the dispatch of any Demon Hunter city would probably be handled by an Omega, but New York City is different, so it's handled by one of the ranking members, and Fran is... Today, you all arrive at the Demon Hunter's main office in Rego Park, Queens, above the now-closed dress barn in the commercial offices on top of the commercial retail space, up the stairs in the back, and you come to the plain, crappy wooden door with the unfoiled Demon Hunter symbol in the center. And as one of you opens the door, so this random dog can get... What kind of dog is Spot? Or is Spot just always just the dog?
Spot's kind of a medium-large mutt. So he's kind of fairly shaggy looking, but not not exceedingly long haired, kind of scruffy looking, kind of the rounded off muzzle, not pointy like a German Shepherd or anything like that, but still fairly long muzzle, floppy ears.
Yay. So medium-sized, shaggy.
Yeah,
Shaggy mutt.
bigger than like a golden retriever or German Shepherd, but not by a lot. Probably 100 pounds, 110 pounds, something like that.
The eternal good boy. The goodest of good boys. Spot, you kind of just wander in and out of the office. They haven't figured out, Fran is like, no, we're not putting a doggy door in it. Nah, we're just gonna have to figure something else out. No, don't look at me like that. Actually, Spot's probably already in the office. It's like, no, we're not putting a doggy door in, that's a security risk. No, we're not, don't look at me like that. She says with her one eye patch and covering her other eye. The other two of you, can both sort of clock each other as, oh, you're not exactly alive. But we both walked through the Brotherhood door and neither of us burst into flames, so we're probably both in the Brotherhood. Yay, ward magic. So yeah, you come in to see Fran trying to have a discussion with the dog that is just sort of looking at her and speaks 1,000 words in one puppy dog stare. And she's like, "Oh, thank Christ. All right, come in. I've got work for you. You want in on this Spot? All right." So, also I realized Fran should have a Queen's accent, not a Brooklyn one. Whoops. So, and she starts bringing up things on her computer. Shay, you have been here before. Spot, you live here. Ned, you get a sense that there are weapons stashed all over this office. And the lady behind the desk with the eye patch and the Queen's accent is built like a Navy SEAL. And yeah, that's the office. But there's like a kitchenette where there's oh, none of you eat anything except Spot. Okay. Well, there's a kitchenette. Oh, but there's coffee. It's not Granny's coffee. Because Granny takes the night shift and has the best coffee skills. But Fran's pretty okay. And so there's coffee, there's bagels, there's schmear. It's New York. Superior New York bagels, I will say. Pizza is a spectrum. Bagels are not. So, yeah.
Gotta come in for a night shift job one day.
Alright, so... Alright, we've got work for you already if you're up for it. So...
What's the job?
I am always up for more work.
We've got kind of a weird thing came down our NYPD and hospital contacts. So... There's this apartment building on the Upper West Side, or on Central Park West, called the Dakota. And they're saying so a bunch of people died. They're saying it was a gas leak, but like they haven't managed to evacuate the whole building. And it's full of rich assholes at this point, but it's like it's also like this would be kind of big news. It happened last night. This would be big news today, but the NYPD's keeping it pretty quiet, probably because money. There's one survivor. He ended up in the hospital on 59th and 10th. But from what we've been able to get from our contacts there, he doesn't have any burns? But is it a gas leak? Like, something's not adding up here. This is a mission that's gonna require a lot of sneaky sneak, though, because NYPD is on it. Con Ed is all over the place because they think it's a gas leak or not, I'm not sure. The building's full of rich assholes, but I think some of it's been evacuated. It's... You get into some of the oldest shit in New York City, and it's just like, I can't see past the money. There is the wall of people with too much money and not enough common sense, and that causes us a lot of problems. I mean, if it does turn out to be a gas leak, like, or something stupid and mundane, just tell me and I can filter it through the appropriate channels. But yeah, just investigate this, see if it's our kind of bullshit, and if not, we'll send it up the pipeline, so. Kinda will
I
make-
mean, it's never just
Oh,
a gas leak, but
sorry, Shay, you're breaking up a little bit. Is that me, or is that... Oh,
damn it. No, I think it's me.
Say it again. You're good now.
I just said it's never just a gas leak.
yeah, I mean... I'm not the only one who's noticed that Omega work tends to go up the chain very quickly once it gets investigated. But, you know, also sometimes it's New York. A lot of mundane shit happens here. So... I would ask you try to keep property damage at a minimum, but then the Dakota failed to blow up due to a gas leak, so I don't know what the fuck's going on. So yeah. Alright, y'all, are you all in? And she, for you two, cause Spot probably has one attached to his collar already, fans out 2 unlimited, so these are unlimited Metro cards. They all have chips for the warehouse doors. We don't bother with the whole leaders only bullshit thing, like we need all hands on deck. But do not let the warehouse door close on you. We cannot guarantee you'll come back where you went in. It's just hellmouth radiation. It's bullshit, but we have to deal with it.
So Spot goes over to like a cabinet or something that's nearby and pulls open with his mouth the bottom drawer and pulls out, and there's one of the vests that says working dog on it and has a leash attached to it, and goes over to Shay and kind of like starts to try and get into the vest thing, and gives Shay the end of the leash.
You just saw a dog dress...
I will lend a hand if appropriate, and
Ooh.
cool.
Yeah, this is Spot. He's a local, we think. But
Nice
he's
to meet you, Spot.
a good
I'm Ned,
boy.
the accountant.
Once he gets the jacket on, he goes over to Ned.
Alright, we do have a warehouse door over... And she points to the outer wall next to the window where there shouldn't be a door, and there is a door. So we've got a warehouse door. You know, there's a door stop there. Prop it open. Suit up if you want to suit up. Load up on what you think you're gonna need. So, at this point, would people like to make, build advantage rolls, because you have a full arsenal nearby?
I mean, yeah.
And this is the warehouse, so it's, mostly mundane stuff, but you can do a lot of magic shit with some mundane shit, because that's sort of how
Yeah.
magic works. Also weapons. Also
try to-
staplers.
Load up on whatever magic shit I am thinking I'm gonna need for the day.
Alright. So,
Will.
because this is Faith Core, there are 4 kinds of rolls, and one of those is building advantages, which basically means it's an aspect with Faith dice on it that you can then use to add to rolls later. Because what you do is you add a combo of various polyhedrals based on your character's stats, like I found out in Cortex, now that I've actually watched people play it. But instead of rolling low, you roll high, and basically, a 10 is a basic success, a 15 is a success with style, and because I have used this system to run Metaverse, 20 is a physics be damned. And at the various levels, if you're building an advantage, for a 10 you get 1 dice, 15 you get 2, and so on in multiples of 5. So, Shay, what are you rolling to build an advantage?
I will roll a clever mystic arts, because that's what I'm best at.
Awesome.
Makes sense. I'm trying to put together mystic arts stuff. I can do math. I probably actually can't. It's an 11.
Okay, so you've created a pocket apothecary with one extra d6 on it. Unless you would like to add some demondis to your roll, and if Shay adds some demon dice to their roll, then I get to add those demon dice to my pool for later. Although I already starting with 9.
I'll
Thank you,
pass
chat.
for now.
9? You start with 9?
A whole bunch of people bought demon dice.
Yeah.
Thank you. Thank you for playing our channel points game.
Wow.
Yeah, I didn't want to survive this session anyway. It's more fun to die.
Yeah, you're already dead. It'll be fine.
Yeah, exactly.
Well, it's
I'm a
Fate.
necromancer.
Fate is very theatrical. Demon Hunters itself is very much like, do we really want to kill them? On the other hand, like, so you could take full damage of bullet wounds and still come back a few scenes later, or you could be
yeah.
embarrassed to death.
Oh, I'm totally looking to use my
Good
my
balance.
upgrade ability, so I didn't expect to keep all my limbs.
Take a new one down.
Okay, so I will add pocket apothecary. Wait, let me not use the erasable pen. That's a... Okay. Pocket apothecary. Does anyone else wanna suit up? Or build
I'm
any
going to-
advantages?
I am going to take office supplies like a stapler, maybe some post-it notes, some extra pens.
Yep, they've got messenger bag type things also.
yeah.
It's...
I'm definitely filling that up with, well, with office supplies because I don't know, it just feels right.
Okay, what would that roll be? Let me look at your sheet real quick.
Yeah, because I was looking at it, it's like, maybe
So-
research and develop? No, that doesn't feel right either.
Well, what exactly do you want to do with these office supplies?
I think it's going to be more, you never know when you're going to need a spare pen or a pad of paper for notes. So this is probably social engineering. I want to look official when I go out into the field. Want to be
Okay.
respectable.
Okay.
So I'm going to say clever social engineering.
Okay, roll it. You
All
can also
right.
add demon dice now,
No,
or wait till after.
I think I'm going to go with my my D4 for social engineering. I believe in that die.
I believe in you.
And I got an 8.
Okay, so unfortunately that's not enough to find the office. For some reason, you thought you saw office supplies and you forgot what aisle they were on. And it's like, unless you want to spend a demondus.
No, that's okay. I want to roll with the failure right now.
Okay.
As for spot, the only thing that comes to mind for something that might be useful would be, and I don't know what they have in the warehouse in the way of something that, like, could be a way of generating some visibility. Going into a hospital is going to be somewhat difficult for dogs, so if I can turn invisible for a time period, that would be really useful.
Okay. Looking at Spot's sheet. Turning invisible. If you want to magically turn invisible, that's Mystic Arts. If you want to try to figure out some mundane means, that would be Covert Ops.
I mean, Covert Ops is
Much better stat for you.
better channel, so yeah, magic is not really Spot's strength. So I'll roll Covert Ops and try and cleverly come up with a solution. And did not roll real well, so I probably am not coming up with anything. So that's only an 8.
Unless you want to roll some Demondis. So it's...
You got 9. I don't need to give you any more.
Okay, so, well, Spot's got hit. You've got your, like, service dog vest on. So, maybe you can wing something when we get there. So, y'all have attempted to suit it up. Now you're heading onto the subway. The Dakota is right off the CE, which is the blue line, which the E train sort of goes to the next New York stuff. Anyway, you can get there by subway pretty easily. sorry. So, someone in chat gave me more demon dice. Thank you.
More demons?
Oh, there's another one. All right, so y'all have there's the location of the incident, and then there's the sole survivor. What are you going to investigate first?
I'm going to say the scene of the incident.
Okay.
Because
Okay.
most of us don't have to worry about an actual gas leak.
Yeah, Spot, I'll just say that given your experience with Brotherhood, Ned is definitely dead. Shay is, like, dead adjacent. Shay actually has, like, a heartbeat and is breathing, but, like, something about them... That smell of maybe they're a necromancer... Not the same as Harcadian, though. He's probably been around here a few times, but... So it's like, But, you know... You know, the head of the chapter is a vampire, so it's like, you know, you don't really discriminate against undead around here. Oh, I know who. Pure Darkness 85 is my GM for D&D Sundays. I don't know, you put me through fun stuff on Sundays. You know, it's D&D. It's meant to be a meat grinder. So yeah, so you head first to the Dakota? Okay. Yeah, it is right outside a subway stop. And let me look at everyone's sheets again. All right, anyone who wants to, so you come out of the subway stop, you are on the south side of the building. Everyone roll me Mystic Arts and some kind of perception-based trait. Unless you don't want to, unless you just don't care. Some of you have very low Mystic Arts rolls.
I do not. I will roll decently.
7.
Still can't do math. 13.
3.
Did Undead
I'm
Ned?
looking in the wrong direction.
Wow, it's a real pretty building. It looks kind of like a castle. Like, let me see if I can put a link to, because this is a real place. In a moment. And it is easy enough to search it on your phones, so that's not even a roll. But, so Shay, you walk past this place, and you walk past this, there's this kind of archway with a gate across it. It looks like one of those, it's a very fancy looking old building in New York. It's maybe only about 8 to 10 stories tall. But this one archway you're walking past, like, it, like, punches you in the face. That's got murder vibes.
Murder vibes.
Murder vibes. Actually, Spot,
Just
since...
stop in my tracks. Murder vibes?
Who could have possibly been murdered at the Dakota? So, Spot, I would allow you to make a fringe roll.
Okay. Let's see.
Why are you harassing Dracus now? I'm so sorry, everyone, about Nightbot being a killjoy.
No, the Nightbot didn't harass me. I just banned a bot.
Oh, okay. Thank you, Mod. Yay! Yay, Mod!
So that was
We're
like
good.
12.
Okay. So, Shay goes, like... Yeah. Well, Shay, I would say it would be fringe, like, eternal doggy. More the... Yeah. But yeah, you also... You kind of get a sense... Dakota murder. Oh! This is where John Lennon died. 40-something years ago. But how do you tell that to Shay? So oh yeah, there'd totally be murder vibes here because someone was a very famous person was murdered here 40 something years ago.
Huh.
So the dog, so Shay, you say murder vibes, and Spot sort of sniffs around and goes like, kind of nods.
Murder vibes relevant to what we're looking for? Okay, moving on.
Okay,
Murder vibes.
I'll try to put a link. Am I allowed to put links? Oh, good, I'm allowed to put links in my own chat. I will also put it on the Discord. Because I won't even, on the Saturday night stream, that's the Dakota. It is a real place. Spot can probably sing better than Yoko Ono can. Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, so Ned is just taken in by all of this because he's got the turbo dork. So I think he's just like, wow.
Pretty building. Like, this is the kind of building in New York that gets filmed a lot because it's a big, pretty building in New York. So you're sure you've seen it in movies and such. So yeah, so you have the location in the building more or less of where the incident took place, and you can pretty much tell where it is because the building is kind of like an apartment building with an inner courtyard, kind of split into quarters. And the quarter you want to be in has cops on the entrance and Con Ed people going in and out.
Hmm.
So, what do you do?
Is there an obvious way to access that part of the building through one of the other parts of the building? Like, could we go in a different door and sneak through on the inside?
You're not sure? That would need an R&D roll to be sure. You can try it anyway, but
I'll try a roll. See. That's an 11.
okay. You can find some, because it is a historical landmark even before John Lennon lived there. But everything's always about John. There are records of the kind of general building schematics. You're pretty sure that because of like this was a building always intended for rich fancy people with servants. So there are ins and outs all over the building, so you could probably go into one of the main entrances and then get into the other area, assuming there aren't more cops inside.
Okay.
And or Con Ed. Sometimes, it depends. However, the other entrances do have doormen.
Okay. It is still a residential building, though? Like, people live here? Okay.
Yeah. Does anyone have any social engineering on this team?
I have an 8.
I mean, that's my lowest one, and I'm going to use it the most.
Hi, I'm Ned from accounting.
Actually, that is my backup plan, just to get us past the cops right now.
Bore them to death with being from accounting.
Now, that's just an unfair generalization of the job.
But that's what everybody believes.
Well, yes, but only because they don't understand the intricacies of the tax code. And I think he pulled out a copy of the tax code and is really to talk to Shay about it right now.
Okay, hold up. I understand that you care about the intricacies of the tax code. I'm an idiot college student. I don't care. I would bet that the door people don't care either, and you might be able to distract them with that.
Well, you know what? They should care because the tax code affects us all.
Oh,
And I
I'm
will
sure.
go to the doorman and I will hi, I'm Ned from accounting. I'm here to talk to you about your taxes.
While Ned is doing that, I would like to just walk past with Spot like I belong there.
Okay, so
I would suggest flashy social engineering
okay, so
because I think I'm a superstar right now.
So Ned is doing flashy social engineering. The other two will have to roll me sneaky covert ops.
Oh dear.
Roll high, guys.
Roll high. This is a roll high system.
Oh dear. I have a D4 and a D6.
Spot, let's see. Spot is going to try and give you a little bit of a hint or a little bit of assistance. He, wearing his vest, gets your attention, and he takes his paws, and he does this to his ears, and then he gets up and he puts his paws on your shoulders, and then does that to your ears too, and then goes back down and looks up at you.
Ned fell down the well? What?
Well, I did roll a 5 for
Don't
my
speak,
flashy
dog.
social engineering, so it would not surprise me if they were getting ready to throw me out of the building.
I mean,
Alright, well, Ned, I mean, you could add up to 3 demon dice to your roll.
I know, but I also know that pure darkness is or pure dark nature is already stacked the deck against us enough today.
Yeah, the guy at the door is just like, I'm sorry? What the hell is your deal? And what did Shay and Spot, did you two roll yet? Or...
no, I haven't rolled yet.
Okay.
I was trying to decipher the hint and I got nothing, so...
So Ned, not only is Ned annoying the security guard, basically he is in line of sight of one of the cops, and the security guard is just sort of motioning to the cop.
Oh dear.
Did you know you can count insoles towards business expenses?
Yes.
Your dice are looking better than mine.
12? Okay.
Oh.
You rolled one too! So basically, Shay and Spot try walking past. The doorman is sitting at a desk and kind of looking up at Ned, and so sees Shay walk past, is like, excuse me, come back here, please. But does not notice the dog, who is under eye level, just sort of moseying past. Oh, more demon dice, thank you. I haven't
might
even...
as well just start using them because pure dark nature is just going to destroy us.
Yeah, but
I
if
mean,
we
I
do-
could start unloading all of my many channel points on faith dice. Been kind of saving them to fight Yoda, though.
Okay,
Well-
yeah.
Yoda isn't even the one buying all of them tonight.
Nope.
It's John.
Alright, John, you're now my enemy.
Okay, thank you, Voodoo.
I don't know you, but like...
Okay, now you have a pool of 6 faith dice. Okay, 7. Alright, excuse me. Are you with it? And at this point, I think that I'm not even gonna roll. The security guard's just gonna say, I think this is the thing. It's like, I'm sorry. Do either of you, are you visiting someone in the building? I will have to buzz you up.
Well, obviously.
Yeah, so who are you here to see?
You've never seen us here before?
No.
We usually go in the other door, but I was avoiding the chaos.
Well, the other door is evacuated, so if they live up there, they ain't there. So, do you want to give me a good reason to not call the cops over here?
I hadn't heard that our friend had been evacuated. I'll just go give them a call.
Yeah, you do
And
that.
I'm gonna back off from this.
Is Spot already in the building, or is Spot gonna try and help their compatriots?
It kind of depends on what Shay does with Spot, because Shay's holding on to the end of the leash.
Oh, that's right, yeah.
So if Shay lets go of the leash, Spot will just keep sneaking on in, and if Shay says, "Come on, Spot," then Spot will go with.
I will drop the leash and then maybe I need an excuse to go get my dog.
Okay, you drop the leash, and Spot walks in, and then you... do you then alert...
elevator, or where would we be going to go from here to get to the scene of the crime?
Based on what Shay found on the internet, you would probably just have to, like, go up at least one floor to the residential area, and then just sort of walk around, or maybe like 3 stories up, because there's all those weird archways, and it's one of those weird, had servants' quarters and dining halls and and then got just chopped up into smaller and smaller apartments.
And where's the elevator in relation to the security guards?
It is, I will say, about 10 feet behind the security desk.
Okay, then I'm gonna go and hit the elevator button.
Boop.
And just go right on into the elevator when the car comes down.
Yep.
I'll just keep distracting the doorman a little bit longer by handing him my card. When you are ready to talk about your financial future, just give me a call.
Yeah, no, bye. Like...
We'll have stepped away a bit and, like, started texting or something to make it seem like I'm trying to get in contact with this hypothetical person who doesn't actually exist.
Okay, so, Spot, you are inside the building, and you can, you get in the elevator. It's kind of an old elevator, but like maybe like 1970s rather than like 1870s, or I forget how old elevators are, despite the Cooper
Union.
Union.
I've had cause to look this up for this game before.
Yeah, because of the Cooper
and I
Union.
don't remember the information.
Yeah, I don't either, and I wrote it, so. But it's more of like a refurbished, but like refurbished in the 70s. But it's pretty easy to just, perch up, nose poke, 3rd floor, and this is definitely the kind of building people film New York shows in to make New York seem fancier than it is.
So this is apartment level. This is residential level.
Yeah, this is, well, it's all apartments.
Okay, is there
there's
in
like
front of the doors and stuff, are there like name tags and things, or numbers, or
they're actually like I'll just make this up. They're actually like really nice kind of brass plate knocker type things with the peephole in them. And there's like, molding and woodworking and paneling and really expensive like wall-to-wall carpeting. And it's like, this is really fancy up, Central Park West apartment building with a dog in it. So it's pretty fancy, and it smells very old and very well maintained.
Okay, so first thought is if there's anything that might have somebody's like name and address on it, like a piece of mail somewhere, or a welcome sign, like the Johnsons, on a door.
Well, yeah, basically you'll see there's like a brass nameplate with like an etched name in it, like a surname. Basically, as a local New Yorker, you know that the mail boxes would actually be downstairs. We're like a few feet away from the elevator altogether there. On the 1st floor. So a mail person only has to go to the mailroom and not to every... oh, there's a mail person in our apartment building. How dare. But you're pretty sure that this level will go all the way around the 4 corners. but you're not sure what it's going to look like on the inside once you get, but you can definitely get, it's basically just walk down the hallway past all the doors.
All right. Well,
And there's like a surname, and then there's like a, 3A, 3B kind of thing.
Right. But it doesn't look like they're brass. They're not going to like come off the door easily or anything like that.
No.
Because my first thought was to like steal one of those and toss it out a window so that Shay and Ned could be like, oh yeah, we're here to visit April Johnson in 3A. But it doesn't look like that's going to work, so...
There's also no windows in this corridor.
Well, we could take it back down the elevator if we needed to, but... so we're going to proceed...
I mean, you could make a physical... If you want to try prying something off, like, I'll let you make the roll, but it would be like a 15.
Sure, we'll give it a shot.
Because it's going to be higher up than an elevator button, and also well made. Because this is the rich part of town.
All right.
A whole new level of being defeated by a door. Or I'm not going to say defeated. I'm sort of the whole party's been defeated by the very front door of the apartment building, except Spot.
All right, we're gonna try a slightly different strategy here. I'm going to attempt to use my double intent stunt and kill two birds with one stone here. We're gonna try and knock on a door that I think that I can smell somebody's in, and see if I can get them to let me in and give me a treat. And while doing that, sneak and steal a piece of mail that has their name and address on it from like in their apartment somewhere.
Okay, double intent, because I'm always hungry, +2 whenever I'm able to get a treat or a snack as part of an action. Alright, so
I want to cleverly use my covert ops to try and convince them that they need to give me a treat and I'm just a lost dog, and then steal a piece of mail and head back down the elevator.
Okay.
And I rolled an 18, +2 makes it a 20.
So that is a physics be damned. So the door you're looking at is like, could I rip the nameplate off? You smell like, whatever day of the week it is, that is like Sunday roast level cooking. And you are always hungry, so you're like, this is good a time as any. So you basically start, like, how do you knock on the door? Do you run into it? Like,
yeah.
Do you ring the doorbell? There is a doorbell.
Doorbell, yeah, just hit the doorbell.
It's a little high up, but you can stretch with your puppy paw.
Yeah, I can get up when I'm, full on my back legs. I can reach like, 5 foot or so.
So, let's say. So, the name on 3A is Anderson, and you ring the doorbell, and you hear kind of a, sort of someone going, what's, And, they open the door, and you see kind of a middle-aged lady who's basically wearing an ASPCA shirt. She's like, oh, hello, sweetie! Hi. And she looks walks out, are you all alone here, sweetie? And she just starts like, and her own little Pomeranian kind of pops out, but is not angry to see you. Like, it's a little puffball of orange. Goes, want to be friends? Hi.
We go and sniff each other's butts.
Yep. And she's and as you're doing that, she's kind of checking you for a collar. Which do you have a collar with a tag on it?
Yep, just a spot. Doesn't have a number or anything on it.
Huh. I don't know if... Does anyone in this building have a service... I've noticed anyone had a service dog. Maybe... Are you visiting? Did you lose your mommy? Aw, okay. Come on in, sweetie. And she just sort of, opens the door and ushers you in, and... There is, like, an immediate, like box of fancy dog treats within reach of the front door, like next to where she has all the varying styles of leash for one Pomeranian. And the Pom is just like, I have a friend! I have a friend! I have a friend! which is literally what it's saying in Pomeranian. It's like, okay, Gimli. Okay, you've got a new friend. And she gives you both a dog treat, because she loves dogs. And you can just see by the photos, it's like her friends and their dogs. And this is the rescue benefit, where she maybe was a donor, and it's like, yeah, this is a professional dog charity person, like beyond just dog person.
So I'm assuming that somewhere there is some loose mail sitting on a counter or in the recycling bin.
Yes, there is mail on the counter next
all
to the dog
charity
treats.
donations and receipts and stuff like that. And so after getting a treat, I'm gonna collect one of those and make a break to get back out again.
Okay, well, she's already closed the door. Ah.
Okay.
And right now she is calling security, who did not notice you walk into the building because you rolled well enough, and the people who rolled poorly enough were enough of a distraction.
I mean, that was part of the plan.
So
I
she
have another idea.
So she called in.
It's
It's like,
okay.
and so you hear her she walked into the kitchen, and called the security desk. Hi, I have a lost dog up here with no tags, but he's got a service vest. So did anyone walk in today with a service dog that they've lost? Because he's perfectly well behaved, but it's just it's clearly someone needs him. So I want to make sure he gets back to us. And she's just talking, and I'll wait and all that. But so yeah, it's very easy. And Pomeranian's like, woof woof. Hi, what do you want to do? Let's play. Woof. My name's Gimli. Woof. And bounty. So he's just very excited that you are here and that you exist. And you exist in the same room, and it is amazing and blows his mind. I met a new friend. I'm out at the park. Yay. Woof. This might be based on my friend Rachel's Pomeranian named Gimli.
Amazing.
I just want to spend all day with this dog now.
That's it. That's the whole game.
The cutest floof you have ever seen. And mighty, and fights the pool skimmer, and yes. Anyway, so that's what's going on. So unfortunately, the door is closed and locked behind you.
Okay.
But yes, you are safe. No one suspects a thing. You have a new little buddy, and you've completely snowballed this lady into trusting anything you do. Maybe. Because you're a service dog, and they are beyond reproach.
So I find the piece of mail or whatever, and then I gotta figure out how to get through a locked door. Because I can get up and, kind of do this and turn a doorknob, but I can't exactly turn a bolt. Yeah, basically, I think I'm gonna try and kind of tear off the little piece of mail that has the name and address.
Okay, yeah. It's like, thank you for donating to our charity thing. This is instead of it being a bill with where it's on the inside letter thing behind the window, it is, just something they printed out on a label and plastered it on, because I've worked in development before and I know how that works. So yeah, you can do that pretty easily.
Okay.
Because you rolled a physics be damned. Just all these things are just lining up except the locked door.
And then we'll take that little piece and kind of tuck it in under the collar.
After you do that, she basically comes back out with 2 doggy dishes with some roast beef in them, and just sort of puts them both down for you. Okay, I'm still trying to figure out where you came from, but here's a little treat because you're such a good boy, and I'm sure you're so worried about the person you're here to help. So we're gonna find them. Okay, where's your good boy? And the Pomeranian's almost too excited by the presence of another doggo to eat, but then it's like, oh wait, steak. Okay. So yeah, it is just like everything's lining up. You're having a good day.
I'm gonna chow down because this is quite the deal.
Yeah.
And then once I have finished, I'm going to start making motions that I have to go to the bathroom.
Okay.
I'm gonna go to the door and kind of whine, and
Okay. Again, physics be damned. I'll say she immediately understands dog and is like, all right. I mean, it's about time to take Gimli out for a walk. Okay. Well, and then I can bring you down to security, and they can get a good look at you. And well, I don't really want to deal with the cops, but I mean, they're here. And she's just sort of muttering to herself at that point. It's like, cops. And yeah, so she puts the leash on Gimli. Or one of the leashes. She has several. She has retractable. She has the harness. She has the collar. And she's like, all right, let's go out. And yeah, she picks up your leash, which is already there and dangling. She's like, all right, let's go talk to the nice doorman, the nice door people, and maybe they'll figure out where you come from. And yeah, so you get back out the door and wait for the elevator, and the party's like, we're going for a walk! It's an hour early, we're going for a walk, best day ever! Friendship is magic! Like, this Pomeranian is just on another level. It's awesome. Yeah, and she, just walks you outside, and she's like, and says, the security guard is much nicer than this lady, because she actually lives there. He's like, oh, this is okay. Yeah, no one came in on my end, or the other two. I mean, the other quarters evacuated. So, and I mean, it's not like cops or Con Ed people bring their companion dogs to where, well, we'll figure it out. And she's like, okay, well, I'm just gonna take him out for a walk. I mean, maybe his owner is just in the neighborhood, and, So, alright, yeah, we'll keep an eye out, and we'll call around, and yeah, we'll see what we can do. She's like, alright, and yeah, just takes you out for the walk. Pomeranian immediately finds their favorite tree and pees on it.
So I'm gonna make like I'm sniffing around and like pick up a scent.
Mm-hmm.
And then when I think she's kind of like at a moment that she's not totally paying attention and is a little bit distracted, just take off and hopefully yank the leash right out of her hands.
Okay. I dare say that will be another covert ops roll.
Okay. And probably quick rather than clever in this case, though.
Yeah.
Are Ned and I nearby?
Are you? Okay, so while while Spot's been having his good day, and his snacks, what have Shay and Ned been doing?
I was kind of planning on tricking the doorman into letting me in to look for my dog, but now that's kind of a moot point. So,
well, where were you when they exited? Because that took at least like a half hour. I dare say.
Less. Like I was trying to.
It was like
to be in a hurry, but yeah.
Okay.
I think I was getting ready to climb the building. Because
can I actually? I can pick up their scent. I would assume, and actually.
Yeah, I mean,
I'm gonna pursue that,
especially since they're
many
undead.
Dead people around here.
Yeah, we probably stand out in the odor factor.
And because I think with my nose, when being clever about something scent-based, I gain a +2. That's the nose stunt. And so I'm going to use that, which pushes it up to an 11.
That's more an investigation thing, though. You are trying to sneak away from the lady.
Well, I'm trying to be clever about sneaking away from a lady and find my companions.
Yes, but those are two separate actions.
Okay, all right.
Sorry,
so
bro.
It's a 9 on the breakaway.
Okay, that will not be enough. You need a 10, but you have, demon dice. You only have to roll 1 to start. Just, tell me if you roll a 1.
All right, I'll try 1.
It's worth it.
That's a 4, so that makes it a 13.
All right. Yep. I will say she kind of, is loosely, kind of tucks your leash into her pocket in kind of a practice move that probably works on her tiny Pomeranian, but you are at least 3 sizes larger than Gimli. So it's like, and you just happen to be by a corner, so you just round the corner, and she's like, "Oh no! Gimli, where did you go? Woof! What? I'm outside! Yay!"
That's a very accurate rendition of a Pomeranian.
An attention span less than a goldfish.
I'm a floof with 2 brain cells! Yahoo! So yes, and I won't even make you roll. You can just pick up on the scent of undead right now and figure out, but where are Shay and Ned is the question. Because you were trying to get into the corner across the courtyard from the one you're actually targeting. So where are you now?
I think I've probably been walking around the building looking for the best wall to climb up.
Okay.
I think I would have found a spot like in the courtyard where I could watch the chaos of whatever investigations are going on, so maybe I can start to get an idea of like who's here, how to get around them, kind of thing, and also be findable for the dog when he gets out.
So yeah, pretending to fake text the whole time. Like they're not gonna bug you in the courtyard. Like you can tell people are keeping an eye on you because you don't live here. But you're also not.
I'm just a college kid minding my own business, though.
So yeah, we'll say for reasons they're not that worried about your existence here. And Ned is looking for. All right, Ned, that would be. Would that be covert ops or tactics?
I think because I was trying to scale the wall in the way that made me the least visible, and I know that's a contradiction.
Okay, so I would say that's you're looking to make a clever covert ops roll.
Okay.
Or a sneaky covert ops roll.
Sneaky would also be good.
If you wanted to be sneaky, I will go for the D4, but clever will give you a D8, and I've not been successful once. And I'm not successful now. That's 2-1. That's 2.
Yikes.
So what you can do, if you get ones, you can take 2 faith dice, and then spend them again to re-roll those dice. But then I get for each of those faith dice, I get a demon dice.
You know, I'm gonna go ahead and roll the 2 faith dice.
Oh no, it's you spend the faith dice to re-roll the 2 approach discipline.
Okay then, yes. I'm gonna
2 dice. Is that?
I'll allow it. He rolled 2 ones.
Thank you, because otherwise it was an instant fail. This time I got 7.
Okay, that's still not enough to find. I dare say, given that it's broad daylight on a New York City street, this will take a 15. But you know, you've got these wonderful little friends that I haven't had to roll because y'all have been rolling like shit, not using your demon dice. So I haven't even had to roll my NPCs with these. Like, goodness gracious.
You know, I'm gonna say that I'm spending so much time not being effective. Let's let Spot run this mission. Spot, you guide me from now on because the dice were against me.
The non-verbal eternal dog is the leader.
Yeah, okay. That's it.
That's fine.
We agreed on that in chat.
We did.
All right, so Shay, you are fake texting on a park bench in the fancy little courtyard where people aren't giving you a hard time. You're getting lots of side eye, but no one's like complained about your existence yet. So Spot, it's very easy to see smell and see where Shay is, while Ned just wanders around the building going, "Huh? What about that? What?
Occasionally, I jump for the fire escape, but I miss.
I'm not even
I
sure there
peeked.
is a fire escape on this kind of building. Like, it
Oh,
is
that's safe.
old. Yeah.
Well, it might be internal too.
Can I try to create an advantage from watching the activity? Of some understanding of it? Be a social engineering role, I think.
Watching Ned?
No, watching the police and company.
Okay.
There's no advantage to watching Ned.
I trust that, you'll be okay. Like, even if you get a little bit dismembered, either you can put yourself back together or I can, so, like...
I feel like I wrote too much plot for this game.
Gonna sit across from these police and kind of watch that activity so I can kind of get an idea of, like, who's running things and where people kind of are.
Yeah, that would be social engineering.
Yeah. So. Oof. I rolled a 3.
Did you roll any ones?
Yeah.
Oh, you must have, because it's a 3.
You have to have.
So do you want to take and spend a demon dice? Or, I'm sorry, a faith dice?
Yeah. I'll do that.
Y'all also have a pool of 10 communal faith dice right now. You might want to roll those, add those to your rolls. You just have to declare it before you roll.
Okay.
Okay, now I'm at a 10.
Okay. Yeah, you get a sense of the cops are definitely working things in shifts. The Con Ed people are working in tandem with the cops. The Con Ed people take longer breaks. And you're kind of getting a sense of they might and also the Con Ed people will probably depart at dinner, which is kind of starting to approach. And my mind completely went blank. Thank you, brain. Yes, we needed this. But you're getting a sense of, like, the cops are kind of lazily doing the rounds. Like, the cops seem a little cranky about something. The Con Ed people just look, like, confused. Like, the Con Ed people will probably not be patrolling for much longer because we're getting into late afternoon. And they're not gonna keep searching overnight. The cops will be here overnight because cops, and there are rich people in this building. Fun. Yeah. But yeah, you get a sense of when there might be a guard shift with the cops, or how easily they might get distracted by things. They're, as people, there are a lot of tourists snapping pictures of this building, a lot of them wearing Beatles t-shirts for some reason. So the cops are there's a lot of, like, stand back please, sir, madam, etc. This is a crime, or this area is under investigation, and they're like, oh, sorry. So there's distracting tourists. So yeah, and at that point, so you're getting a good beat on what they're doing. When Spot kind of trots in,
give Shay the little piece of paper that I've got.
You broke in somewhere.
Okay, Miranda
Probably
Anderson.
Walked in somewhere.
Miranda Anderson, and it gives their the building address and the apartment number, because fun fact, if you don't put the apartment number on it, they send it back, because fuck you. Because I worked in development as an intern. So yeah, you've got something.
Yeah.
But our break alarm just went off. So do we want to take a 10-minute break, or do we want to just keep going?
I'm ready for a break.
All right.
Okay.
All right, chat. So this is where we take a 10-minute bio break. We will be back in 10. where hopefully the party gets inside the building.
At this pace, who
That's
knows?
the dream.
I need a moment to calculate.
I feel like I wrote too much plot, and that's not a bad thing. So, but that's just how this game goes sometimes. So yeah. Chat, we will see you in a few minutes. Let's keep spending channel points because I can still see it, and we will see you in 10.
No!
Now
Now we're back. Okay.
Now we're back.
And
We're back now?
someone
Yes,
dropped
we're
a
back now.
South Boston NPC that I feel like is a reference to something I'm not getting, but I will roll with it.
I'm just
Call of
looking forward to hearing your Boston accent. So.
Boston. All right, we'll see.
John is explaining
Oh,
where
okay.
Jack the NPC comes from, and I'm gonna look those up later.
All right. So when last we left our intrepid heroes, they were trying and failing to get into an empty city apartment building, but there were cops in front of it, and NYPD makes everything more complicated, as we well know.
Not
And
all
if-
this probe. Same.
So Ned was walking around the building, looking for a place to climb in and failing miserably, and just sort of
Definitely gonna get climbing gear next time.
definitely looking the tourist part of Vigilante Tourism. Shay was sitting in the courtyard, and Spot had successfully infiltrated one occupied apartment of a dog charity enthusiast, who then fed him, and he was able to steal something with their address on it to hand to Shay, and did so in the courtyard. However, now all three of them are known to the standard building security force, which is, well, 3 people, but still. Don't fuck with the New York City door persons associations, you just don't. They are also union, thus they are scary.
Got it.
So yeah, and Shay, do you remember what you rolled to clock the official people going in and out of the
10.
Okay, so that's not enough to spark a surprise aspect, but you've got a good handle on it. So, trying to help them so you can use the demon dice. Well, technically, if he's a demon hunter, he has faith dice, not demon dice, unless he's an antagonist. I mean, he could be an antagonist. But really, like, I don't need to derail these players anymore. They are doing a fine job themselves, because that's what Demon Hunters is all about. This is why go for the effective when you can be hilarious. And so far, we're doing very good jobs. So, bravo players. This is the game where it's fun to fail, and that is literally what what the system was designed for, fun to fail. So yeah. Shay, let me look up this NPC. So Shay, Spot finds you. Spot gives you a slip of paper with an address on it for a Miranda Anderson.
Okay.
And then looks at you expectantly.
All right, Thumbs, do
Boy.
something.
I think it's about the time Ned comes back. It's like, okay, I'm going to stop by the warehouse and get a jetpack and some climbing rope.
I'm hoping that won't be necessary.
Oh, there's like no way to climb this wall. It's totally going to be necessary.
Okay,
I
I
will.
was gonna propose an alternative to getting into the building. You know, Jedi mind tricks. These are not the droids you're looking for.
I am
Or like,
familiar.
Until you
these
are
are
the
not
droids.
the demon hunters you care about letting into the building.
And then, Shay, you hear a voice from behind you. Until you are the droids they're looking for. Oh, this is Brooklyn.
Oh, are we?
And you hear,
are we being looked for?
You turn around and you see a nondescript-looking man in a tan trench coat and a fedora. Looks very 1920s for some reason, but it's New York and oddly fitting where you are. Yeah. It's like, so, do you need someone to run interference to get you into the building? Because, I mean, Spot's
that would
doing...
be better than
Spats.
pulling whatever bullshit we were about to plan.
Spat's doing Spat's doing the Lord's work, but y'all clearly need some help.
Well, all I gotta do is go get the jetpack, and I'll be back in like half hour, 5 tops.
I told you this that we should look for an alternative way into the building. This would be that alternative way.
All right, I'll give it a chance, but I don't have great hopes.
I take it you're all puzzled.
Nah, I just sort of, no offense, but I don't really listen to zombies that much no more. Like, you have to know when to stop listening to the zombies. And I see a lot of zombies.
What's this guy smell like?
He smells, this would be a bit more esoteric, so let me take a look at your sheet.
Fringe?
Yeah, I would say fringe. I would say eat the fringe of eternal good boy, which is my recommendation for what you call it.
Okay.
Eternal
I'm
good
gonna
boy.
roll one of the group faith dice since we got a pool.
Yay! What aspect are you invoking?
What did I just roll? Careful.
What did you use the faith dice? Canine super genius or ancient useless knowledge?
Canine super genius, I think.
Okay. What did you roll?
And that would be I can math here. A 16.
Awesome. So this guy strikes you as familiar. He smells. He smells he smells like he has seen some stuff with tentacles and slime. This person smells oddly like the abyss and also like time travel, which would explain why he's dressed wrong. Because you could just say this is a 1920s guy from Baston, and like, what? Okay. So you just sort of, he is wearing the Brotherhood. You do get to see the Brotherhood tattoo, like, kind of right under the collar of his button-up shirt. So he's one of you. You're not sure where he came from or why he's here, but it's like, all right, I think we can trust this guy. You get a sense of this is a guy who deals with horrors from beyond, which could also explain the time travel, because that shit gets weird. Also, you've heard that there's a lot of crawling chaos bullshit happening in this town lately, so, you know, let's not look a gift detective in the mouth. So, he will absolutely pat you on the head, because you're a good boy. And he probably recognizes you too. You just might not have met him yet. Or this is their first time meeting him. He might have met you already, but you don't remember it because it's in your future. It's like, you smell time travel.
Or my great-great-great-grandfather could have hung out with him and done missions with them, and I remember the, missions that we went on, even if I don't necessarily remember him.
Okay, yeah.
So many different travel effects coming together. It's like, yeah, we kind of met each other in a future past life.
Fucking time travel. Ugh.
In the future, we will once have met each other.
Anyway, so he's like, yeah, I can run interference with the NYPD because no one knows how to mess with the NYPD more than a Southie. from Baston. And it's like, oh, okay. You believe him. You believe that
Okay.
when Jack the NPC Malone, Spot, you do remember his name now, Jack the NPC Malone, when he says he's gonna do something, he's gonna do it, no matter how ridiculous or mundane it sounds. So, all right, I'm gonna run interference with the pigs, and I haven't practiced, so he sounds Brooklyn, so I'm sorry. My defaults are Brooklyn and Queens. Baston. So I'm gonna run interference with the pigs, and you sneak around, alright?
Alright. Thanks.
So Jack makes his approach. And he basically has private investigator written all over him. So the cops are immediately like, oh fuck. What is this and how is there now, whatever this is, it's about to be our problem. So he starts speaking quietly with the cops. Spot, I will say you can still hear from this far away because you're a dog. You're a doggo. Eternal good boy. And basically so, I've been hired by one of the residents of the building that you have just evacuated. It's a paycheck, it's nothing personal, so I need to know more about the investigation, because they are throwing a lot of money at me, and, well, that's what, or, no, I actually wouldn't put it that way. He's like, hi, I'm a private investigator hired by one of the locals, who was evacuated from the section of the building, so I would like to know, just ask up front what you've uncovered about it before I start doing things the hard way. And the cop is just like, not like, I don't want to deal with you, man. We do not have to tell you anything. And so they are having the you know, ancient feud of cops versus private investigator right there. And the other cops are, what? And the other, and the Con Ed people are even like, ooh, it's the ancient dispute. Let us watch. Let us get popcorn. And so, yeah, the door is not open, but no one is really actively guarding it or going in and out of it. And there is no doorman in there because, well, they had to evacuate. So what do you do?
Oh, I'm totally sneaking in.
Walk in.
Yeah, you just walk in. I'm not... I mean, no, actually, no. You do all still have to make covert ops rolls. But you only have to hit a 10 because, you know, a handy
If it's
private
alright
dick
with you
showed
guys,
up.
I'm going to use some of the fake dice.
Just tell me what aspects you are activating. You can use as many
Uh,
aspects as you want, but 1 faith die per each. So I believe that's a max of 3 or 4, depending on if you even roll your concept, because sometimes that happens, but you have 10 faith dice left, so.
Okay.
Yeah, you know what? I better use a fake dice also. So I'm going to go with forceful and flashy covert ops.
No, you can't.
Okay.
I'm sorry. That's not how that works.
Okay. Please
Someday
explain to me.
it might work that way, but no, you do not
Okay.
want your covert ops to be flashy unless you are the distraction.
Okay. Quick.
Yeah, quick is fine. Quick works
Okay.
great.
I
I'm
got
trying
an
to
11.
figure out
Okay, what
how
about
any of my aspects would let me use.
Okay, Spot?
I got an 18.
Oh, boom! The dog is, you blink and the dog is already at the elevator. And I was like, okay. The elevator is on, weirdly
Actually,
enough.
That was with careful aspect. I carefully covert ops
Oh.
my way into it.
So yeah, you sort of just drift like a fluffy shadow. Yes! Like a fluffy, fluffy shark, you just sort of glide. You in fact go through the legs of several Con Ed people who don't even notice. Because that is to
Okay.
succeed with style. So you have styled your way into success and are in the building. Undead Ned, you just sort of like, walk in.
Yeah.
quietly.
What's your concept?
Pseudo living college student.
That sounds to me like a perfectly good thing to invoke because you're doing the like I'm just a kid texting on my phone. Or I'm walking.
Okay,
College student.
that works.
I am completely innocuous.
Yep.
And
Because-
oblivious to what's going on around me. So.
I theorize that I could walk in almost anywhere around town where I live and no one would bat an eye.
Also, you don't
I've yet
necessarily...
to put this theory to the test because I'm terrified to do it. But
Or-
like,
Or the excuse of that, the dead move quietly.
yeah.
You may
There's
or may
that.
not have to breathe. It's unclear.
The number of times and places that I have gone where because I was wearing black, I was able to just walk past security and have nobody question me, never have to show a badge or ID or anything. Like it's super easy.
Noted.
Generally, I'm like actually going someplace I'm supposed to be going, but I often do not have the badge with me that I'm supposed to have, or like would have to go through a check
Okay.
or something like that.
Did
And no one asks anyway. I got a 14.
Awesome. You
Well,
also just drift in. Spot, did you use a faith dice for this roll?
I did not.
Okay. Because you're actually playing a leveled character. Weirdly enough.
Well, careful covert ops is my strength. So
Woo! I'm just a dog. Woof!
You are the most innocuous.
great.
Despite wearing a neon orange service vest.
Whereas
So
I just had to
Everyone
hold a
just assumes you
clipboard
belong there.
in front of my face and walk by.
So yes, congratulations! 2 hours into the adventure, and you have made it in the front door! Yay! And yes, this discussion is getting heated because, well, ancient enemies having a whole thing outside. Alright. You are
Got the
inside...
Boston, New York, and the detective police.
Oh,
Both
yeah.
that.
One of the con eds is like, hey, you're a Red Sox fan, aren't you? And then it just gets mean. And then it's, oh, shit. So yeah, y'all just, so you know that the incident happened on the 10th floor. And
Okay.
there is only one apartment on the 10th floor of this, because it's like, it's one of those weird things where, it's those peaked roofs. So that's where the whole, like, connecting stops, because, so the elevator, the only way to get there is by stairs or elevator in this quarter. But you happen to be in this quarter, so you can go straight up to the elevator.
Brilliant.
So it's a good thing you didn't, well, maybe a good thing you didn't have to go around. It would have been a little more complicated. Now you can just go straight up.
We could have gone around on a lower floor.
I don't think
and
we could have gotten more complicated.
we needed an NPC to run interference.
Only because our most useful character doesn't have thumbs.
You're right.
If we could somehow
right.
get him thumbs, he'd be unstoppable.
Feral Cat did have thumbs. Because I've met
Feral
cats with
Cat did.
thumbs. It's
Yep.
terrifying, but awesome.
I've seen
Feral
a few.
cat is also prone to just.
Oh yeah.
That's also better articulation just in general. My
Yeah.
cat used to be able to like grab onto doorknobs and swing on them and open up doors.
I don't know, some smart puppers figure out doorknobs, but they're not like raptor smart.
Right, but it's harder with
Yeah, it's like-
dogs,
Yeah,
It's
they
like,
need they need the latch, and if you go to doorknob, they're completely thrown off.
Luckily, the elevator just uses buttons, and since Spot rolled the 18, Spot is the one that pushes all the buttons with their nose. And so you get to the 10th floor, ding, and there are... I'm gonna use a face. Oh. There are... Oh, shit, that was the wrong one. There are 4 Con Ed dudes, or people of varying genders, just sort of, they've got their meters out, they've got their weird sensors out, they're not really paying attention to who's coming off the elevator, but they are around. So what
Okay.
do you do?
anything.
I will just say, actually, no, this would be, let me look at your sheet. I would allow this as a fringe or research and development, because you are, well, what are you sniffing for?
I I mean, first and foremost, is there actually the smell of gas that would accompany a gas explosion?
Okay.
Or what other smells do I notice that draw my attention that could be related to our mission here?
All right, just roll your fringe.
Okay. A 9.
Well, you don't smell gas.
Okay.
Because I said that's like 5. But if you were to get a 10, you might be able to detect something else. Oop. Also, don't forget you have, like, a whole bunch of faith dice left, but you didn't declare it before the roll, so sorry, bro.
Right. So how about I spend one of those faith dice to be able to re-roll my what is it? My fringe die.
In this case, I will allow it. I don't think that's how it works usually, but it's also like, come on, people. Chat gave you so many toys.
All right, so fringe reroll, and I rolled a 6 on that, which pushes that up to 12.
Okay. So you don't smell gas. You don't really, like, burning. Like, if it was a gas leak and explosion, you would be smelling, like, char and fire, or the remains of fire and fire retardants, and, also, you know, the last vestiges of gas if there was still a leak. Maybe electrical burning smells. You get none of that. What you do get, is a faint trace of ectoplasm.
Oh boy.
Which is not something Con Ed would generally be able to detect.
And now I will communicate that to Ned and Shay by looking at them and going,
You can also get a general sense of the Con Ed people are kind of milling around on the floor. They have you get a sense of the direction of which well, basically the only I mean it's one this is one of those big fancy like several room apartment buildings. You get a sense of the room that the ectoplasm is in is not one that the Con Ed people are in right now, probably because they've already searched it.
okay, then I'm gonna like sniff along the ground and follow the scent of ectoplasm.
Okay, so since Spot rolled an 18, I'll say your covert. No, actually, no. Let's just say you can easily. The Con Ed people are so frustrated and so looking so hard to find something because rich people want them to. Rich people want them to justify what is going on and make it make sense. They are not paying attention to the people just wandering through to the dining room. And it is this kind of like old-fashioned kind of paneled wall dining room, probably from, you know, the 1880s when this place is originally built. Except it is also an abattoir. The bodies are gone, but you can tell from all the blood stains and broken crockery and this dining table is made of probably some kind of solid old-fashioned like 800-year-old wood. So it's still in one piece but very scratched up and marred with stains of food and blood, and there's knives sticking into it, and it's just so yeah, you see the after battlefield without the bodies, because the bodies have probably been taken away. There are still tape outlines where they used to be. There are lots of, you know, little numbered things of blood spatter because the cops have already been in and out of here. And the cops had to move off to say, well, if this is still an active danger, the Con Ed people have to check it out. Right now the cops are fighting with a private dick outside, so lucky you. But yeah, you walk into an abattoir. That used to be a fancy dining room. Or is it both? What do you do? Spot, you can definitely smell kind of general ectoplasm, but how have you managed to communicate this to the necromancer of the party? You didn't. Okay.
Exactly. That's I mean, that's the big weakness with Spot, is he has an enormous amount of knowledge and he can figure out a lot of stuff and do things really well.
But yeah, you
But
see...
he can't talk.
You see broken crockery with blood on it. You see silverware that has blood on it. It is like the room exploded, but it didn't burn. So, does anyone else? So what do y'all want to roll to investigate?
I would like to do a clever mystic arts investigation and use my aspect as an unsupervised occultist to see if I can figure out what the fuck was going on here.
I will allow that because it was very clearly not a gas leak.
Yeah.
No flames.
Okay.
Well,
That
there were a
is-
couple of elegant candles lit on the tip, but they're definitely went out pretty fast and are also bloodstained. Yay. So much blood.
Okay. 14.
14. So, describe to me how Shay investigates. Like, do they do a ritual? Do they extend their force feelings? Like, what do they do?
It's probably something akin to extending with force feelings. I think Shay is not big on, like, serious ritual components to it, because they're a little slapdash in their magic. So, probably just, like, poking around and feeling things out on a mystic level.
But what
Making
still?
an ill-advised poke at a knife sticking in the table.
So yeah, you just start sort of looking around at things and trying to see things on a magic level, a mystic arts sense. That once you have a high enough stat in mystic arts, you kind of do have those feelings. And you also get, like, whereas Spot smelled ectoplasm, because y'all go. It's like, when you look at a bright light and you blink and there's kind of like an after image? You kind of get... They're not here right now, but you do see a whole, like, the after image or aura effect kind of, like, leftover resonance of a lot of ghost shit happened in here.
Oh joy.
I would be able to tell you more if you had a 15 or a 20.
I think it's worth rolling the demon die for that.
Okay.
I rolled a 1.
Oh, nice!
Bloody hell.
That
You
makes
can
it a 15, right? You just roll the 1 on a demon dice like that.
It's bad.
Yeah.
And I keep track of who rolled the ones, so it's personally bad. Sometimes it's personally bad, sometimes it's not. So, do you want to roll another demon dice? Did you?
I got it to a 15.
Okay.
I had a 14 to start, so...
So you rolled a 15. So yeah, you're staring, it's like, oh, ghosts happened, and, well, then murder. And then you kind of stand back and sort of start trying to look at the whole room, and you get a sense of the movement of it, and how this place just became, like, you kind of get a sense of, from where the objects are now, that a bunch of ghosts showed up, and then a whole bunch of poltergeist bullshit happened. And you can kind of see not the movement of the objects or the people when they were alive, but you get a sense of the movement of the spiritual energy. And it was just like a maelstrom happened in here. And like, then you get a sense of pop, death, as various people were exploded or impaled. You're pretty sure, like, So that coat rack used to be standing over there, and now it is covered in blood and guts. So it probably went through somebody, and it's just like what happened? Also, you sense the anger, the very, very angry anger of a whole bunch of very powerful spirits in one place. And what the fuck?
And they aren't here now.
Well, we're getting to that.
Oh dear.
So,
That was
would
the
be
scariest
the
thing
one,
I've heard all
wouldn't it?
night.
yeah, hold on a sec. We'll get to that. So as you are getting a sense of, you don't really see the specifics, but you see the movements and the focuses of those resonances, and then those resonances start to fill in as if they heard you, and was like, oh, someone's here. Someone's fucking around and wants to find out. So I will say that means that Shay, you may have actually no, because they're just gonna attack you. You rolled a 1 on a demon dice, so they are immediately going to attack Shay.
I deserve this.
I mean, you just, you rolled a 1. It happens. So
I am a reckless occultist.
So
doing dumb bullshit. I deserve this.
So the other two of you are kind of looking around at, the abattoir. Spot, you smell more ectoplasm on various things. It's not necessarily something that's easy to see. And it does kind of dissolve after a while, so what you're getting is kind of more nebulized ectoplasm that's kind of evaporated. But you definitely can say, yeah, there was something ectoplasmic threw a bunch of stuff at some people and impaled them to death. Ouch. You definitely smell a lot of blood, and I should have said you were smelling the blood from the elevator. But still no burning. So the ghost, the mob of ghosts is going to flashily attack you with their found object improvisation.
Oh, 2 can play at this game.
Oh, yes. And I'm going to use Demon Dice for Poltergeist Palooza and Mob of Angry Ghostwriters. So Shay, you go. Oh shit. 10, 17, 23. Shay, defend against a 23. And the way we have been doing combat is, I make an attack roll, you make a defense roll, subtract one from the other, subtract one from the other. If it's a negative number, or rather, if the defender scores higher, then it's not an issue. If the attacker scores more points, then that many strikes develops into a condition trait. And it's up to 5 for a mild, up to 10 for a moderate, and up to 15 for a severe. And as you fill up on one, it will immediately upgrade to the next one. So, we shall see. So yes, Shay, defend against 23.
Okay. I'm going
But you do
to,
see them coming, so I am letting you defend.
Yeah. I'm going to quickly Mystic Arts try to dissipate their energy as it comes toward me.
No touchy! No touchy!
Do not touch me! And do the other two hear a, oh shit!
Yep.
So I kind of wave invisible magic around my face and...
You definitely see that. Because, well, what happens is Shay starts up that defense before all of the plates and knives and broken pieces of furniture start to fly towards Shay. As if a whole bunch of telekinesis was going off from not Shay.
And, I would like to also use a faith die because we still have a pool of those.
Yes.
I have not been keeping track of the pool. Perhaps I should have been, but,
Okay, I have 11 minus 4 is 7. You have 7 left.
Cool.
Yes.
And does
Gonna-
that count our 3 that we start with at the beginning of the game or whatever?
No, those the ones the 7 are the ones that chat is buying for you. You start every game with 3 faith dice.
Okay.
I'm
You
gonna
also have
use-
Pocket Apothecary, which was the only
Right.
advantage you were able to build this session with 1
I'm gonna
dice. on it.
save that one because I don't reasonably have time to use it in this situation, I think. And I can use my aspect of studies nightmares beyond death for the fact that I know how to deal with ghosts. I sometimes am one. Okay. And then I have 16. I can do math, I swear.
That's
Gonna take a little bit of damage.
So yeah, that's 7. So would you rather take 1 moderate or 2 mild? Actually, you would probably 1 moderate.
One moderate.
All right. We will call this slightly impaled.
Okay.
And fun fact, that automatically has a d6 on it for PCs or NPCs to use against this character. Meanwhile, you can do the same, or actually no, this is a mob, so I don't think it works that way, but... But mobs are, because of movie rules, mobs are sometimes easier to fight than individual NPCs.
Mhm.
So
Like
yours...
the inverse ninja rule.
Yeah.
Yes.
So, Shay, you basically do this, and you are able to dissipate some of it, knock some of it out of the way, but you do end up with, like, some knives and wood splinters and things in your hands. Ow.
Great.
But that won't slow a necromancer down nearly as much as you think it would. So, so the ghost just went. So I'll say, oh wait, let me get into rounds. The mob will say, let Shay go next, cause, you know, what you got? What you think you got?
I want to
And combat
See if-
popcorns, so.
see if I can take some of the energy that I managed to dissipate around me and redirect it back on this thing.
Okay.
See if I can throw some knives right back.
And since you were all mystically charged, we'll just say that works against ghosts.
Yeah.
I'm gonna be really lenient about how you fight ghosts. Just saying, this isn't World of Darkness, this isn't Mage the Awakening, you don't need the Death Sphere, you're fine. Whether you succeed or fail is entirely based on your dice rolls and not flavor mechanics.
I just straight up rolled a 16.
Nice. Alright, now...
Probably not gonna do much because you have a lot of demon dice and I did
Yes.
not use any faith dice.
Yes, I do. Alright, they will then defend with their basically the same roll, found object improvisation, because, like, no, we are artists, damn it. This is our art now! Okay, but they didn't roll nearly as well this time, so... 6, 13... They rolled a 16. What did you roll?
Also 16.
Okay, Do any of us remember if ties go to the defender? Because I suddenly don't.
I don't either. It has been so long since I've played this system. I remember the broad strokes. Little details like that are mostly gone.
Alright. Hold on, let me just... Blah, blah, blah. Fun fact, no GM ever has their book memorized.
I'm pretty close with 3.5 Dungeons and Dragons, but nowhere near on any of the other systems I've ever played.
I'm gonna say Ty goes to the Defender.
Okay. I think that's probably fair. It'll probably save our skins later on somewhere.
Okay. I wish I had angrier jazz music to play, but this is kind of all Pretzel has today. Okay. So we're in combat rounds, and it's fate, so it popcorns. So Shay, who goes next? What fun fact, chat? If the bad guys go last, the bad guys go twice. But the bad guys already went first this round, so don't worry about it. So, Shay, who goes next? The other two, you've basically just seen a bunch of cutlery attack Shay, and then Shay kind of flew the cutlery back, and then the cutlery kind of like jumbled down before it hit anything, or maybe it did, but Ned, you have no idea what's going on. Spot, you're pretty sure it's ghosts. Like, it just would make sense. Ned, you have no fucking idea. Unless you want to roll for it, but that would be on your turn.
I'm gonna let Spot go next because he has some idea of what's going on.
And now that the ghosts are back, you can kind of smell the ectoplasm again, so yay!
So, I've got a couple of questions as far as just how this works. Spot
Yes.
is an ancient canine super genius with lots of useless knowledge. And because I retain the knowledge of my ancestors once per session, I can succeed at any challenge of wisdom or knowledge. So the main thing I want to do right away is know, like, what do these ghosts have a physical form somewhere? Can I see or smell it? And what kind of assaults on that physical form would take effect? Like, can I trip a ghost? Can I bite a ghost? Can I bark really loudly and dissipate it as if it was wind? Like, I don't know what the physics of ghosts are, but I think Spot probably does.
Okay, I'll allow that. So basically, ghosts can you don't have a very high mystic arts, but you are kind of inherently a magical creature. So if you can sell it dramatically, however, I will say that this lore dump is your turn.
Okay.
Also, can you communicate it to everyone else? This might not help you till next round. So, whoops. So what I'll just give you is the ghost lore dump. So yeah, as you know, magical weapons, some mystic art styles of fighting, true faith, things like that. You know, Shay seems to be some kind of necromancer, so okay, they're fine. But yeah, if you can make it, ultimately, if you can do movie dramatics with it, like Spot is a lot more flexible in fighting them than one might assume a dog can be. But also, animals often can fight the supernatural when they are pure of heart. And well, Spot is the eternal good boy, so he's got that going for him. Another way to deal with ghosts is to find their anchor or fetter. A ghost can have several. If you attack that, you can weaken the ghost significantly. However, once you're thinking of it and sort of sniffing around, and now that you're seeing these things in action and getting a sense and connecting with your ancestral memory, you realize it might not be their only fetter, but the building is a fetter. The building is a massive fetter.
The whole building.
The whole building.
I was hoping it was maybe the table. Okay.
And then you think, well, because you made the John Lennon roll earlier, a lot of famous people, artists, storytellers, philanthropists, rich people, famous people have lived here over the last century. Oh boy. This is a lot of history and resonance concentrated in what is a relatively small building for New York City. But it's like, so you're so like, okay, puppy ancestors, give me your knowledge, oh fuck. Oh fuck. And that is your turn. If you have any other specific questions, just ask me later. I won't make you roll for it again, because, yeah, that is your stunt. The last person to go would be Ned.
Which is just appropriate. Since Ned doesn't know what's going on, I mean, he's got theories.
I will say what you both notice is that the dog kind of looks and sniffs, and then his eyes get wide, and he kind of sits down on his haunches, and his ears kind of go down. Like, oh dear.
Okay, so if it was just an invisible assailant, then Spot would have been more active. So it's probably.
Well, you're not. Yeah. You don't know. He's a dog.
Yeah. I figure, he could bite a person who is physically there. So I'm going to go with this is probably supernatural. And I don't know how to fight supernatural. Oh,
this is probably supernatural.
Yeah. Okay, it could have been science-based.
Really?
But apparently, whatever it is Spot can't bite it. I don't know. I can punch it.
I mean, you are also inherently a magical creature, so I'm not going to say don't try it, but whether or not you succeed depends on your roll.
All right. My other question is, stunts, are they only useful once per game, or is it only, like...
Generally, if stunts, there's a range. A lot of them are, I do a specific kind of challenge or roll, and I get a +2. So, well, yours will say, if it's only once per game, it'll say it's only once per game.
Okay.
Otherwise, you can use it whenever it's appropriate, or whenever you can argue that it's appropriate, because this is Fate, so justify it. You have to justify it, and I can say no, but...
yeah, and because, I'm using...
Like flashy covert ops. That only works sometimes.
Yes. I knew that one was kind of a hard sell, but also I'm trying to go, like, Ned's an established character. I'm trying to, use him, what I believe he would do. There's an enemy on the field. He is the unkillable accountant, and he has the spotted eagle strike. So it feels like he's definitely going to go. You
can only use one stunt at a time, but pick one.
Yes.
I'm sorry, there are no bodies. Because it's like, I rolled ghosts, so I'm like, sorry, bro.
A spotted eagle strike, which gives me a +2 to a flashy attack when I use hand-to-hand combat. I don't know what I'm attacking, but I know its general location because of where things flew. So
I'll allow that, yeah.
Okay, then I'm going to go with a flashy combat and tactics.
Which is a D4 for you.
Yes, which is why I feel I also should use a faith die to include quick, because I'm trying to move...
No, that's not how that works. So you see the things that say aspects?
Oh,
so concepts and disciplines are what you invoke. Oh, so you did that wrong on the last one. Yeah, the approach.
Yes, I misunderstood.
You roll one approach and one discipline, like in Cortex. The aspects are things that allow you to add an extra D6 for each faith dice.
Okay.
And you cannot use your trouble. That's not how the trouble works, but you can use concept or disciplines. And you can add one dice per each of those. You can use one each per roll.
Okay.
But you can
still using our pool of faith dice. So.
Yeah.
Yes. I'm still going to call on the faith dice.
Okay.
I am going to use the fact that I can't see the opponent, and that means I have to go kind of wide. I'm going to go with enthusiastic undead accountant, because he's very enthusiastic about saving his friends. And thank you, Lord. This was a 14.
Woohoo! Well, now the bad guys go, and I have so many demon dice.
Well, the bad guys went first, though, right? So don't we get to choose?
Sorry, that would have been a +2 with my spotted eagle strike. So that would have been 16.
Okay. Well, the ghosts still get to defend.
Right. Yeah.
Brain.
Yes.
I don't. Where am I?
I was making mistakes. It's got a mind of its own.
Why am I looking at Granny Flax's character sheet? What page am I on? Yeah, like, I've been there all day. Okay. So... I'm gonna say this changes up the roll a bit, because they are trying to be sneaky, and avoiding the spotlight, which is only a D6 and a D4 for them, but I still have Poltergeist Palooza and Mob of Angry Ghost Riders. So let's see. Ooh, they did
Ghost
not roll good.
Riders or Righters?
The
We'll get
purple
to
ninja's
that.
gonna be so proud of me.
3, 4.
Oh,
All right, they only rolled an 8, so that's you get 8 traits on them, so that will be 2 mild conditions.
Oh, do I come up with a condition or do you?
No,
you
you're
No,
just
you attacked.
Oh,
Yeah.
yeah. Okay,
you got basically the way mobs work is they just have a number of conditions and you just check them off
okay.
because it's a mob.
Yes.
So yeah, you so describe how you take out 2 ghosts that you can't even see by screaming at the top of your lungs and doing a thing.
Yeah, I just scream out "Spotted Eagle Strike," and then using everything that I have learned from researching the Purple Ninja, I'm just flailing wildly, going ho 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 ho, and I just channel his spirit, and somehow, some way, my fist punch the air.
You know, Ned is very good at punching the air, so this is surprisingly effective, Shay, as you see 2 ghosts he puts his fist through a couple of ghosts just wildly, and they just sort of whoosh. So that worked! Whoa!
Well done, Ned.
Ned has no idea if it worked or not, because Ned can't really see ghosts.
Yeah.
So...
What I do?
You hit
Did
them.
I do it?
That was
Did I
the
do
point, right? As I'm peeling some knives out of my hands or whatever.
Yes.
So we will say, I lost my train of thought. Okay, so we are there. What was I gonna...
round, so
New
Ned
round.
choose
So-
who goes first, right?
Yeah, so Ned, you get to choose to go who goes at the
Okay.
top of the round.
Well, since Shay acknowledged that I was productive, it goes to Shay.
Yay!
All right.
I did the thing!
Oh,
This is going to be a moment I'm proud of for a long time.
should be.
And Shay, the more you look at the ghost, the more you see just like different eras of clothing, different ages, but you definitely get a sense of, oh, that's not blood on that person's smock, those would be paint stains. That person is definitely wearing a turtleneck and a beret. And you're definitely getting a sense of this, something, just your college student nature is picking up on the subtle hints of these people are artists. Kind of this, like again, like staring into the sun, except that the longer you look at them, the more in focus they become. Also, the angrier they get, the more in focus they are.
Yeah.
But you are a college student, you are a film student, and 2 can play at this bullshit game.
Oh yeah. I'm not prepared to use convenient discorporation yet, but we may get there.
Do you have your sword in a duffel bag?
Yeah.
Okay, just checking.
I'm not gonna go out looking at supernatural bullshit and not bring a weapon. That's Klaus's job. So these guys either need to be...
I do want to make a slight sensitivity note before we continue. So the Purple Ninja and all the characterizations are in the canon. They are maybe a little problematic now, and it is the first day of Asian American and Pacific Islander Heritage Month. So, I apologize. Like, yeah, it's
Good
just...
note to make.
Yeah. Just
Haven't really thought about the implications of in what way that, like, ways that's problematic or could be, but yes, good note to make.
Based on the voice, I'm pretty sure it's a white guy in a suit. When he's been on, at least one time it's been Nathan. But
Yeah,
it's like,
yeah.
I don't know.
Ninja was never supposed to be any, there's never a reference to being an Asian person or anything like that.
Yeah. So I'm not sure how Asians fit in, or how ninjas fit into cultural stereotyping yet. If you can educate us, please do.
I like to take the rule of the '80s when ninjas were just everywhere, and until someone with more authority can speak up on it, I am going to use the rules of we kind of really got ingrained in the '80s, so
Okay.
That was kind of what I assumed the purple ninja was a
yeah.
pop culture nerdy type
It's
thing.
actually directly related to I mean, there's so many uses of it, like Speed Racer, and like it's just ninjas are like a pop culture kind of non-existent thing, and the actual ninjutsu of Japan is as much mythological as real as well. So,
Okay. All right.
and everything's better with them.
Ninjutsu is an art form actually developed in California. So,
Oh, I did wonder about that because
I didn't know that.
I've heard something. And yeah. All right. So PSA over. Shay,
Well,
what do you do? Yeah, just wanted to point it out instead of being the I'm just gonna be a white lady and ignore it.
sure.
And then maybe it's not happening. It's like, no, Karen, no. No, Becky, no. So, Shay, what are you doing to attack the invisible people?
Having looked at the list of notable people on the Wikipedia page,
That's why I linked it!
yeah.
However, I will say that there's no one in this room that you recognize. And even if Shay is like an avid arts student...
I was gonna say, because one of the people on the list actually did cause controversy at my college recently.
Which
Lillian
one?
Gish had a theater named after her, and the Black Student Union didn't like that because of her role in Birth of a Nation.
Oh.
And I understand this, and now it is just called the Student Union Theater. So I don't know if I want to, bring that into Shay's existence. But I do know one of those names on the list and have a personal problem with.
You do not recognize, looking at her Wikipedia page, you do not recognize anyone in this room who looks like her. A few people are dressed in that kind of same era of 1920s fancy dress, but she's not here.
None of them are her.
Yeah.
Well, that's probably good then.
Anyway, what do you do?
Well, if I don't recognize any of them, then I'm trying to figure out how to magically make them realize how unimportant they are, and that'll either anger them further or maybe make them give up, which is the hope.
It depends on how high you roll.
Yep. So I just want to, impress upon the room my, impression of not knowing any of them. That they are faceless, nameless, and need to go away.
So chat, this is a very flexible system, and very good for, what shall we say, social and psychological combat. So I would allow this as combat, this would be a social engineering attack.
Okay.
So maybe a clever one?
Yeah. And I want to invoke my studies nightmares beyond death to justify why I would be able to make a room full of ghosts feel what I feel.
I will also allow you to invoke, if you want to spend a faith die, you can then invoke their trouble aspect, which is attention must be paid.
I would love to do that.
So, that is another faith
that
dice
sounds
used.
Perfect.
Yep.
Attention will not be paid. You mean nothing to me. I have rolled decently. It's a 19.
Ooh. So let me see. So, what does Shay say to this assembled bunch of assholes who are just attacking you for no reason. They rolled like shit. Okay, good job, ghosts.
Probably, knowing that attention must be paid, it would be,
Said you rolled an 18 or a 19?
19.
Okay, so that's a 10, so they rolled a 9, so that is 2 more conditions.
Oof.
So what exactly do you say, Shay? Like, roleplay this out, because this is a social attack.
You want me to pay attention to you? You're going to have to do better than just throwing knives, because that's all you mean right now.
They're all like, they get angrier and they like try to retreat, but they can't, and you get a sense of them dissolving slightly at the edges. Like that hurt them on a psychological level, you think.
And
Like,
then I'm just going
okay.
to chuckle as I watch them dissolve a little bit.
Yeah. Those who weren't just punched into were just like, our one weakness, our insecurities! So who goes next, Shay? And remember, bad guys go twice if they go last.
Let's let Ned go next.
Okay. I feel like since Ned was told that his punches were effective, he's just going to do that again, but forcefully this time, because I don't want to just overuse the one stunt that would be useful.
I
don't
mean,
feel like
you
that's
can.
fair.
You can. That's not something we're usually strict about.
There's
Okay,
nothing saying you can't.
Like, if you want to flail your whole way through this whole combat and accidentally succeed, that is fine in a comedic context. Because
Okay.
that is Ned.
That is true. Okay, then I will use the Spotted Eagle Strike again as I flashly do combat tactics.
So yeah, you've both, Shay and Spot, you've both seen martial arts before. You've probably, I think Shay might have actually seen, not the purple ninja, but like one of the others of the spectrum, like one of his disciples. I forget which one showed up.
The lilac ninja.
Yeah, the lilac ninja. So you've seen that kind of combat and tactics. Ned is sort of doing that like someone described it to him. And maybe there's like some industrial music playing in his head on his headphones, but that's, so what did you roll, Ned?
I rolled a 10.
They rolled 5. They rolled an 8, so you do get one more mild condition on them. So, Shay, you see, this one goes a bit wide, where he's like, I'm effective, and then he starts trying to fight in a wider range, but the ghosts have already started to drift away from him, because they're like, oh, nope, he can punch us, bye. So he only manages to punch one as it's retreating away from him.
Sorry,
And
I
it
keep
goes,
forgetting to add that would have been a 12 because of
A 12?
the Eagle Strike. I apologize. I can't remember basic math or numbers
Okay.
that are
Dude.
in front of my face.
Okay, that's still just one mild condition, because
Okay,
that would be a 4. So, all right. So the last 2 people in the combat are Spot and the mob, but if the mob goes last, the mob goes twice.
Yes, and I feel like the mob's already got a giant pool of advantages, so the mob can go next.
Okay.
Nice.
They're pissed, and they don't like Net, and Shay just insulted them, so I'm sorry, Shay.
That's fair and valid.
I was honestly hoping I might have been able to attract some attention.
It's okay, I can take a hit.
Actually, no. Let's say the mob attacks both of you. So now you both get to roll defenses against the same number, because I'm a
Okay.
GM and I'm an asshole.
I like to feel like I'm a part of things.
And they roll like shit, so you're probably fine anyway. They focus fire, Ghost Mob. Focus fire. 4, 6. Okay, so what do you roll for defense? Because they rolled a 7 to
Okay,
attack you, because they hurtin'.
I'll do quick mystic arts
In
again.
So-
what way am I being attacked? Because that might Like, I know it's a D4 for combat or mystic arts, but if I know
Okay.
which one.
Their main attack is to actually throw physical shit at you. So
Okay.
basically, a bunch of plates and cutlery and broken wooden pieces just start shooting at y'all in a weird kind of circular motion, like it is a maelstrom.
Mm-hmm.
So you are now both attacked in the way Shay was attacked before.
Okay.
So,
Well, since I know that I am undead and being impaled isn't going to stop anything, could I use my fringe undead?
if you invoke the faith dice for that, I would allow that.
Okay.
Or actually, wait, let me look at your sheet real quick.
Okay. Because again, this is just me not knowing the system. So.
What did you want to roll? Fringe.
Fringe undead.
All right, I would allow that.
Okay, so I will use careful fringe undead because physical objects just won't hurt me, and I rolled a 7.
Okay, so ties go to defender, so they miss you. So inexplicably, all this shit comes flying at you, and you just freeze, and it all flies past. Because they're throwing it on a curve.
Yeah.
And Shay, what did you roll?
I rolled a 9.
Yeah, so same thing. You're just like, you're standing resolute, just like, I'm a college student, fuck, and I haven't read about any of you assholes, fuck you. And it just misses.
They're so demoralized they can't throw straight anymore.
Yeah. Well, they were never really throwing straight, because Maelstrom, but yeah. Alright, so Spot is last. And the ghosts want Spot to go because they think so far he is a completely innocuous service dog.
Yeah. So, Spot, however, has a lot of background in combat and tactics. And since I can't see them, I'm using my nose to target where they're at. So, because I think with my nose, when being clever about something scent-based, I gain a +2. And what I'm going to do to be clever is I'm going to invoke my distractions or fun aspect. I'm going to leap up on that big table, bark in such a way that the acoustics bounce around and confuse them about where the sudden loud woo comes from, and then leap and attack them while they're distracted.
Okay, I will allow that.
Okay. All right, so that is going to be a clever combat roll of a 15.
Okay. Okay. Describe to me again what you were doing without the dice rolls. Just say what is it that Spot does?
So Spot
to fight
is
the
out
ghosts.
to the side and wants to distract them from attacking the two what he sees as more vulnerable people. And so he leaps up on that big, huge wooden table that we have in the room, barks directly into the wall so that the acoustics of the room bounce it around, and uses his understanding of acoustics to bounce it in such a way so that the ghosts think the sound is coming from behind them, and then leaps into them, snapping his jaws and pawing at them wildly, using his nose to target several of the ghosts.
Okay. So you do all this, and because you smelled the ectoplasm before, you do have additional, but you do have a sense based on where they're attacking from and stuff. You can't see them like Shay can, but you are a dog.
Right.
And a magic dog. Unfortunately, they rolled a 16.
Oh.
So you definitely get other two players. You get a sense that Spot just did something kind of amazing, and just the way the acoustic, because it is a succeed with style, the acoustics flow and kind of vibrate into the miasma of ectoplasm and goes, well, Ned, Spot leapt on the table and barked, but it's just something felt significant about it. Shay, you more see like what Spot was trying to do and almost succeeded. Because, Spot just used physics to fight ghosts, and it was kind of all, and also, the howl of the wolf that is pure of heart will say his prayers or something, and it's like, okay. So it was awesome, but it just, like, the ghosts were just like, nope, oh, that's a danger too.
Right away.
So they kind of flew out of range, and also a lot of them used to be musicians, so they might have just like, I know how to defend against acoustics, haha! So it's you can see it's mostly people with, like, holding spectral guitars and flutes are left. So, aw, darn it. I feel bad. It's like, damn it, now they roll good.
It figures. Rolled a 7 before, roll a 16 this time, I see how it is.
Alright, so Spot, who goes at the top of the next round?
Let's throw it back to Shay.
Fighting ghosts, let the necromancer go first.
I think this time I would like to use my pocket apothecary and try to make the remaining ghosts visible to my 2 companions.
Ooh. Okay. I will say that's not a contested roll. I will say that is a overcome roll, and that it just will work if you do it. Because it's not really hurting them, but it'll make it a lot easier for everyone else to hurt them.
It could be creating an advantage.
Or create an advantage.
Because then it would be a scene aspect of visible ghosts.
Yes, I'll allow that. That sounds good. And that will give, presumably give your compatriots more dice to throw at them. Woohoo!
Yeah. I have rolled decently.
Yay!
I can do basic math. 15.
Okay, so that is... so you want to say visible ghosts?
Yeah.
With 2 dice on it, so that's 2d6. So those work like faith dice, and generally what I do is if there's an aspect or an advantage that is now empty of dice, you can still use your own faith dice to activate it, because why not? Alright, so visible ghosts times 2. And yeah, so Shay, what does it look like? What do you do to make the ghosts visible? With the stuff you picked up at Fran's office.
Sorry, did you ask a question? Because my internet decided to robot again a little bit there.
How dare you, internet?
I did not hear you.
So what does Shay do? What ritual does Shay enact or fast casting to make the ghosts visible to their compatriots?
I keep freezing, don't I?
A little bit.
I pull something out of my bag, like a powder that no one else is quite sure what it is, and I'm not either off the top of my head, but I'm kind of going to, like, make it burst throughout the room, and it kind of settles on all of the ghosts, and they can't get it off. And
so you take out one of those...
Suddenly, the vague outlines of humanoid poltergeists are visible to Ned and Spot.
Actually, I'll say, so you basically had, like, not even, like, a Ziploc, but, like, a sandwich baggie full of some kind of powder, and you just went, PAF! And with all the TK bullshit swirling around, and now the echoes of pure dog howl, whoosh, you're all kind of covered in this powder, but now so are the ghosts.
And it's annoyingly bright pink, just because that pisses some people off.
Oh,
just
yeah.
to drive it home even further.
Some of these people look awful in pink.
Can be like the pinkest pink.
And you...
Pink.
You also get a sense there's a lot of turtlenecks and holding of spectral musical instruments and paintbrushes, and it's just kind of weird. It's like, huh, okay. someone actually has a typewriter, a tiny typewriter slung around their neck, and you're like, what even is that? Okay, fine. Different eras of clothing, different genders, and all sorts of ages, and it's, whoa, this is a lot. But again, however much either of you know about celebrity history, none of these are people you recognize.
Spot can't communicate this to anyone, but he has come to the conclusion that the ghosts are all the people who passed away in this building that lived here that were never famous and never got any recognition for who they were, tried to become famous people and wanted to be great artists and live on afterwards through their art and never were able to.
So Spot is just regarding all this kind of,
Like, oh, you poor things.
so
Still, we have to stop you from killing people, so...
Yeah, I will say, if you want to, for your next attack, you can also use a faith die to invoke their trouble. Attention must be paid. Okay. Ned, you have no idea. Suddenly everything's covered in powder, but you can see the ghosts, and you're like, oh, I was not punching anywhere near them. So, Shay, who goes next, Shay?
Let the ghosts go next, just to make sure they aren't going last.
Yeah. Alright.
I've probably just particularly pissed them off, or at least confused them.
Oh, they are so pissed, and now they are attacking all three of you, but again, they don't do well with splitting their focus, so we'll see how they roll. And not great. Okay, so the ghosts rolled a 13, so each of you has to roll against a 13.
Can we invoke the attention must be paid if we're kind of like pretending that we're not even noticing them as we defend ourselves?
I will allow that. Because it's funny, but it does cost a faith dice, so you're using one.
I'm also going to need to use a faith dice. I'm going to invoke can't kill what's already dead.
Okay. Yep.
I rolled a 1 on my faith die.
That means you get to keep it, so I'll put it back in the pool.
Okay.
I'm just hoping for the best. I can do math. That's a 12.
Okay.
And I got a 10.
So you all take one mild condition, because the ghosts are kind of more weak now, but, so yeah, everyone... takes the mild condition, annoying scratches. And it's like, oh shit, that stings! I don't really know how Ned does damage. It's not, one mild isn't enough to take off like a finger or any, actually, maybe it is. I don't know. You all have...
I lose the pinky finger.
You all take the mild condition, annoying scratches. Alright. And the ghosts are gonna let Spot go next, because they still just think he's a dog. They are still kind of, they are not yet impressed. Which is kind of sad, because Spot is impressive.
Well, we'll work on that. So I'm gonna invoke again their attention must be paid, and act like I don't care about them, and kind of like slide around and try and be clever in how I attack them in such a way as to catch them when they're not paying attention.
The dog is actively ignoring you. Psychic attack.
Actively ignoring you. Psychic attack, and also bite.
Okay.
That's a little better. It's still a bad roll.
The dog is pretending not to be trying to bite you because you're not really that important.
Yeah. So that's going to be a 13.
Okay, so... Oh! They rolled an 18 to defend. So they just do not respect dogs.
Apparently.
Frickin' Manhattan socialite bitches. What assholes.
Yeah, I wouldn't call them bitches, because that'd be dating material.
Yeah, that's true. Alright, so... Ned, you're last.
Okay. Well, Ned has a target now So I want to invoke the
Okay. And the visible ghosts.
yes, the invisible ghost. And because now I have a target, I'm going to try to forcefully punch him in the face.
Okay.
And oh, I rolled nice with this one. How do I roll nice when he's not even good at combat? I got a 16.
Single-handedly
you're
making
fighting-
Ned actually good at combat.
I know. I am rewriting the lore.
It's like so.
They rolled a 14, so you only hit one of them, but you were able to path one of them, and it just paths. What?
You have to think about, like martial arts training. So like when you're training and you're sparring and you're learning how to fight and everything, you pull your punches, right? You're trying to connect with the person and just tap like that. But when you actually fight, you have to try and push through. But so Ned normally, when he's fighting, he just keeps pulling his punches because he forgets how that works and he's not a good fighter. But since they're ghosts, he's like, there is no connection, so he just keeps going all the way through by accident.
Yeah.
And it's like, it's more...
And also, Shay told him that he is actually doing something, so he's
Right.
really
He's excited.
he's got
Got
an
the
ego
morale
boost.
boost.
Yes,
Yeah.
he's feeling really good about himself today, and he doesn't know where the target is. So it's a combination of not being trained well with feeling useful.
Okay, and y'all have 3 dice left in your faith dice pool.
Okay.
Plus there are 3 dice each person.
Yes. Which you haven't had to use all game because chat was very generous. And,
Yeah.
You.
And
Chat
what's
was you. But that's fine.
Oh,
Anyway.
I'm ready to buy another one if we need it.
So,
Yeah,
so
same.
Ned, bottom of the round, so who goes at the top of round 4?
Okay.
These ghosts
well-
are looking pretty rough and pink.
Yeah. Well, I do feel that Spot did something really impressive earlier, and because of that, he deserves to be impressive.
Every dog needs his day!
Yes.
Alright, Spot, what do you do?
All right, so we're gonna try this again, and since they're still like not feeling threatened by me, I'm basically gonna ignore them and let them ignore me a little bit. I'm gonna try and like move into like a flanking position, get directly behind them so that if they're facing Ned, I'm facing their backs, and try and attack them that way. So
Okay,
again,
what? So what are you rolling?
So it's a clever combat, but invoking their
Okay, their trouble. Okay.
their trouble again. Yeah,
Okay.
a little bit better. Nope, that's not a little bit better. It's a 13, the same.
Oh,
There
but
are
they
no-
rolled much worse. So you rolled a 13. They rolled a 6. So that is 5. That is a mild condition.
Cool.
And so yeah. So one is sort of ignoring you, and you're acting like whatever. I'm just a dog. I don't care about your bullshit. And then they're not paying attention to you, and then you bite them, and they go paff. And now you have more pink on you, but okay.
What's the pink taste like?
Shay, what does it taste like?
Probably like necromancy.
It's-
It's not pleasant.
It's an undead pink.
Then it's like,
Yeah, but you know,
Yeah.
dead things they
It's-
smell pretty good when you're a dog.
Okay.
Fair enough.
that's true. I pictured like when I had to give my dog, medicine through a tube and they would fight it, but it could just be kind of like that.
Okay.
It's undoubtedly better than the glitter flavor of fairy magic.
Glitter and thorns. Yeah, that's weird.
Walk
Okay.
into any fairy magic area, take a single breath, and go, glitter and thorns. The Fae are here.
Especially in Central Park. Oh dear.
Yeah.
One day I'll run that on stream, but most of my players have already played it, so off stream. So we'll see. Okay. Spot. Who goes next?
Who are my choices?
Pretty much everybody because you're going first.
Oh, was I first this time? Well, let's go back to Shay then. I'm just gonna keep throwing it back to Shay and let the necromancer
Okay.
lead the way.
I guess now that I've got, I mean, like, I could already kind of see them, but now I've got, like, this very clear idea of where they all are.
And there's still
kind of shifty.
There's still 1d6 left on visible ghosts, because I think Ned was the only one to use it.
Yeah. I think I want to use their own trick and throw knives at them magically.
Okay. So that's going to be a Mystic Arts roll.
Yeah. I think it'll be quick Mystic Arts, and I am going to invoke visible ghosts there.
Okay.
And, be pretty decent. Let me do math. 18.
Okay. And they rolled a 14, so you get... So... That was their last mild. So, Shay, why don't you describe to the party how you disintegrate the last of these spectral assholes?
Any loose knives in the room sort of float up and fly around in almost a tornado pattern, landing in the shapes that are still around here, and they all kind of poof out of existence. It's like a balloon popping.
Okay. So, and combat has settled. At this point, someone turns off the power in the building.
Great.
But you don't hear anyone else. Spot, you just don't hear anyone else on the floor. You're not really sure what that's about. Unless you want to roll, unless someone wants to roll for it. But it would have to be Spot, because Spot's the only one to have noticed, and Spot can't talk. Spot, you would know, from your knowledge of ghost lore from that thing you did with your stunt, because those ghosts are somehow tied to this building, they're gone for now. They will eventually be back. Not like right now, but there's still gonna be a problem as they, you know, regenerate in whatever ghosty realm they are in. But for now, they are not a threat. And at that point, the lights are out. You don't hear any other activity on the floor. And you start hearing the sound of a piano being played. Spot, I'll say because you're a dog, you can tell this is probably in an apartment below you. So, one that should be evacuated. And it's the song Maria from West Side Story. But it's like, it's still it sounds like it's being played like it's a very grand song on piano, but it sounds like it's being played kind of more slowly and sadly.
Spot just kind of stops, looks at the other two.
Yeah, you can all hear the music. Spot is the only one who can really tell the direction of it.
Yeah, so Spot puts his ear down on the floor.
I turn to Shay and is like, well, we've solved the problem forever. We can report back. Go see the show.
No, we've solved the problem for now.
But I punched the problem, so it's gone.
You sure did. It's gone for now. They're ghosts. They're still tied here. They just aren't messing with us anymore.
So we have to burn the building down.
There are other ways of cleansing the place. The music's below us. I can set up a cleansing ritual later. Let's go figure out what the fuck this music is, shall we?
I would play it on stream, but then we get copyright smacked, so I'm not gonna. But I'll just say you all recognize West Side Story, because it's a very pretty song. But it's usually such a hopeful song, and it just sounds so much sadder right now. Like, almost this kind of slow, ponderous kind of way of doing it.
Does the elevator still work? Is the power...
The
elevator, or does the lights shut off?
The elevator is off. However, there are stairs all over the place, and the doors are not alarmed.
I imagine we can take the stairs. We're not burdened by such inconvenient things as exhaustion.
And Shay having looked up building schematics, there are just, like, because there used to be servants' entrances and the like, there are just stairs all over the fucking place.
Oh, brilliant.
So, there's likely one right next to the elevator, because why not? So, yeah. And there's only really one apartment on this floor anyway, so it's easy to just go downstairs.
And Spot is thinking, and this is why I need the humans along with, so they can open the doors to the stairwell.
It's the only reason we're useful.
Yeah,
That's the whole thing.
this is old, so it's more of a latch instead of a push door kind of thing, so yeah. But they do open into the corridor because fire standards. I assume. I mean,
Going back into the next.
Chicago learned that lesson the hard way, so maybe New York did it right.
not
Maybe.
You would think that, but a lot of New York buildings and companies will just pay the fines rather than actually fix the problem.
That
So
feels like a standard everywhere, but that was my one bit of trivia I knew.
Yeah, alright, so you go down Spot, you can easily just lead the way, like, to the one floor down, through the next door. And yeah, the piano music is louder. It is real piano music. It is not spectral. It is not an illusion or something wacky like that. It is a real piano being played. By someone who shouldn't be here, you guess.
Is there a person playing the piano, or just?
This is a floor where there are more apartments. So so Spot, you can easily find, just apartment 7H. And the door already, the door is closed.
Spot looks at the two of you.
Huh.
I think he's trying to tell us something.
But
we don't have time to deal with this. There's something in here.
There's definitely a piano in there.
I'm gonna knock on the door.
Spot has had it
later.
You knock on the door and you hear someone say they don't stop playing. Oh, come right in.
I'll open the door and go in then.
So I'll say, because this is a leveled NPC, you don't have to make challenges, or you don't have to make, there is a man in kind of a nice, well-cut, tailored suit. You can clearly see through him, but he is visible, and he is just playing this really nice grand piano. Like, this is this is a smaller but still very fancy, expensive apartment with a grand piano in it. And not a whole lot else, because, well, space is at a premium in New York City. And
Recognize him?
Roll anything that would allow you to make a history check. Like, actually, I would say fringe or social engineering. Yeah.
I'll make a clever social engineering
Yeah,
roll. See if I recognize this guy.
I'll say it's social engineering.
I'm
7, so I'm guessing not.
I'm going to invoke ancient useless knowledge.
Yes.
There you go.
And I rolled a 1 on my faith die.
Well, you get to keep it.
But 13.
Okay. Ned, do you roll anything?
I tried a clever social engineering and got a 5.
Okay, so
One who can't talk wants to get knows information.
So Shay and Ned, it's kind of less surprising that you don't know who this is. You recognize the music, but you don't recognize the face. Spot, you're pretty sure this is Leonard Bernstein.
Oh.
Or at least his ghost. And he's just sort of playing the piano. He's like, yeah, come right in. I'm not going to hurt you.
He's heard of my combat prowess.
Recognizing him as Leonard Bernstein, Spot goes over and has a big doggy grin on his face and goes over and settles down next to him and just is looking at him and listening.
He kind of keeps playing with one hand and kind of pets you on the head with the other. Oh, you're a good boy. And he's like,
the dog seems to like you.
And he can pet the dog. So this is I won't make you roll Spot, Shay. This is probably a pretty powerful ghost. It is rare to meet one that powerful that isn't also angry and trying to kill you, but that could also be a Brotherhood problem.
I don't often see ghosts just like this without actively trying. There we go.
He looks
I
like
pulled up
that.
his Wikipedia page briefly.
Yeah, he looks like some ghosts look like their younger selves. He looks kind of more his mature self. But it's definitely him. Shay, you very much get a nice professor vibe off this guy. You don't know who he is, but maybe he's a music teacher.
I assume he's probably someone notable, given just the history of the place that I pulled up on Wikipedia.
I saw your wiki page.
That's what I was looking at in the courtyard when I was pretending to be texting. I was glancing through the Wikipedia page.
Yeah, that's fair. That's part of why I linked it. Like, yeah, go ahead. Let me actually get back to the plot I wrote. So I have to apologize for the behavior of my neighbors, compatriots. We would be friends, except, I haven't been dead so long that I've forgotten murder is bad.
They didn't seem like the friendliest neighbors.
Well, I can't say I don't have sympathy for them, but, well, murder is still bad.
Yeah, generally it is.
But, the Dakota itself is, well, its attachment to history makes it a attachment to a lot of realms, and some weird things happen here. But, I'm sure you have questions?
Yeah, I'm not even sure where to begin, honestly.
Well, I mean, I follow the news, but I've noticed there hasn't been any news about this, which is saying something.
Yeah.
Because the last murder to happen here got a lot of press.
So it was just the neighbors doing murder that caused the evacuation. There was nothing else to it.
I mean, they've reached a certain kind of, and he starts crescendoing, a certain crescendo of anger and bitterness to become that powerful, so it is a problem.
I'm not sure I know a way to solve the problem without trying to cut the whole place off from.
We can burn the place down, remove the problem.
I mean,
No arson.
I'm not sure what happens to me. This isn't the only place I can hang around, but that won't necessarily stop the problem. A lot of us come and go. There are very few of us who are anchored specifically to here. I mean, Walter Becker's, he lived in Hawaii a long time, so he's out there sometimes, but... But Shay, you have no idea what this is. Spot, that's one of the guys in Steely Dan.
Like, Andy has ideas, but Ned wouldn't understand the problem.
So yeah, and I hang out, in what's left of the village, at the piano bars, and, see how the culture's going, or what's left of it. But, do you have questions? Like, what do you think is going on? And Shay, you're getting a real Socratic method teaching vibe off this guy. It's like, what do you think is going on? And, well, Spot can't answer, unless you try. So,
I've made it so that the cat can talk before, haven't I? Can I try that? So
yeah,
I can
it's a
let Spot speak.
mystic arts roll.
I'm gonna be like,
but Spot is not undead, so it will take. I'd say it might take a 15.
okay.
It is a little outside of your range.
Yeah.
But you still have faith dice to burn, and we're kind of coming on the end. Oh, it's 10:30. Jesus.
Yeah, it got late.
We'll try to wrap this up.
I'm gonna start pulling something out of my little pocket apothecary and then be like, oh, do you mind? I'm gonna try to let the dog talk.
Yeah, I don't... He's definitely more than he looks like, but I'm not one for talking to... I
Yeah.
can't understand him. Sorry, boy.
I've met a similarly weird cat before and managed to make her speak at one point, but we'll see if I can do it again.
Well, supernatural
will,
investigators. I'm not surprised.
Invoke unsupervised occultist
Woohoo!
and roll really well.
Yay!
19.
Okay, what do you do to spot, or around Spot, or what does it look like?
I think I probably mix a few things, say some grammatically questionable Latin that I am not wired to produce at the moment. And,
Canis speakus.
My brain is chugging on it now.
Sorry, I derailed.
Gonna like mix these things, say some Latin over it, and give Spot a good pat on the head and kind of just rub it over his fur. And
okay, Spot, your doggy sense is tingling, and you get a sense that you can now communicate. You can't necessarily say words because your doggy mouth isn't a human mouth. But you get a sense that if you speak, it'll almost be like they'll understand you in some fashion more directly than usual. So you can
share your knowledge, Spot.
And so
that, like,
translates.
Guys, translates into your head somehow. So the first thing Spot says is, "Why would you want to talk to a cat?"
So the effect is that, yes, you do hear Spot going ruff, 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 but it's almost like you're watching an anime dub. So it's like, it's not subtitles, it's an anime, also you're a college student, so it's an anime dub. So it's like, you get a set, but like the lip movements don't match.
Subtitles appear in front of you.
Yeah. We might do that one day, who knows? But yeah, it feels like you understand what he's saying, but it's like an anime dub. You don't understand why, but it's like, Ned, you also can hear him. And so can Mr. Bernstein. It's like, well, I mean, some cats are nice, says the ghost.
This particular cat had broken in somewhere and seen things that I needed to know about.
Yeah, I mean, like,
sense.
Are you paranormal investigators of some kind? I mean, clearly you know what you're doing more than the cops or the maintenance folks.
We're from an organization that works on this sort of thing. We don't officially exist.
Ned is showing off his Brotherhood tattoo
on his butt. And it's like,
it's called the Brotherhood of the Celestial Torch, and we have the tattoo montage.
Huh. Well, it's woof. Huh. I can't say I've seen that symbol before, but alright. I mean, if you're willing to not just shoot all of us on sight, we can talk. Yeah.
There are some members who I'm sure would, but it's not us.
We're secret agents of the Angels.
Alright, Angels. So, what have you managed to figure out about what you've seen?
Well,
today.
There were some angry people upstairs. But they're gone, so the problems should be resolved.
Okay, so you're starting at a C+. We're not quite there yet.
They're only gone for now. I was thinking of trying to do some sort of cleansing ritual, but I'm suddenly at a loss on how to do that respectfully.
It is kind of, there's precious little history being made in this building anymore, since the co-op board is more interested in money than talent, which is just how things are going in this city, and cleansing it might be a lot like kind of a psychic wrecking ball as much as an actual wrecking ball would take out this bit of history. So I would rather you not, but also murder is bad, so
Yeah.
I can't
That's why
say.
I'm trying to think of a different solution.
I mean, did you talk to the one survivor?
Not yet, no. We decided to start investigating here and, well, got caught up with the murder ghosts.
Yeah, they do take up a lot
And
of
the
time.
excellent security downstairs.
That's kind of surprising, but okay.
It felt like it took us all day just to get to this point.
Well, I guess I can
We'll
feel.
chalk that up to our own incompetence in the face of that sort of work.
I mean, I guess I can fill you in for the rest. It's a lot like that real popular movie, The Ghost and Mrs. Muir. Anyone? Ghost
Sorry.
and Mrs. Muir. You know, you seem like a ghost-oriented type. You should see it. I mean, it's an old black and white film, but you should see it.
I
mean,
really
it's
like
also-
black and white films. I'll make a note.
Yeah, The Ghost and Mrs. Muir. So there are a lot of people, footnotes or chapters in history lived here, but also a lot of other artists who, even if they had the financial support, didn't quite make it in their lifetimes. But they still had really amazing lives, because it's hard not to in New York City, to one extent or another. So what a lot of them have been doing is sort of, well, if you pardon the phrase, ghostwriting. Is there's kind of a thing you can do where you can communicate with the human, with a living person, and he's still playing the whole time he's telling this. It's just changed different key. And you can tell he's like, oh, I'm gonna play this in a different key now because I'm kind of bored with this one. And it's just like, oh, musical genius in front of you. Oh my god. So some people do it through dreams. Others appear right in front of them and they have a whole relationship, but then eventually the living mind just sort of fades it away and makes them think, and this is what really started pissing people off, was that they came up with it themselves. And Gretchen Sparks is, you wouldn't have heard of her, which is sad. She's a really talented lounge singer back in the 50s, and she lived here for a while. What was her name? Casey. Casey's, there are a lot of people living here. Like, they're still writers and artists, but they're generally, I think the term is trust fund babies, because not a lot of other people can afford to live here, and co-op board kind of discriminates against you if you're not, the right color. The suit was lost on that fact, but it doesn't mean it's not true. So, not a lot of, like, tech people with, they went to Harvard, they went to Yale, they have good technical skills, but didn't really pay their dues in life, so they don't really necessarily have a lot to write about. Well, that's not necessarily a requirement. But you're probably not going to have a lot of Leonard Bernsteins or Rosemary Clooney's or Walter Becker's going forward, or even John Lennon. He doesn't hang out here. He hangs out in Strawberry Fields, where it can be all about him. You do, John. Don't want to deal with it. So yeah, they basically, the ghosts are ghostwriting, and Gretchen told this whole story to Casey, the writer, and Casey wrote a really great, and also she's a good researcher. A lot of journalists around here, but she started bragging over dinner about how insightful her look at this woman's life that she had never met, that there had been no books about, and Gretchen just sort of had it. And sparks flew, as they say, and took out a whole lot of people who used to live here. Maybe they'll be back like me? I don't know. They weren't really making their mark in history either. But they weren't bitter about it, because, well, they weren't really suffering. Until the end.
Mhm.
So I mean, I don't know if ghost unions are a thing, but I don't really know how to get these people the recognition they want, without it bruising their precious egos when the writer takes all the credit for their own story. It's a tricky problem, and I mean, ghost privilege, I guess, is a thing. Or I'm, a chapter in history. I don't know if I really am in a place to judge them, but they are hurting people.
So is it safe to say that um, there isn't going to be any more chaos in the immediate future?
Well, yeah,
If we let someone keep an eye on this place, it'll probably be okay.
I don't know. This is a
Hmm.
this is a thorny philosophical dilemma, and we're at the end of our game tonight.
Yeah.
So this is a. I mean, if there's more people like you, like if you live in the city, I mean, we could probably work something out. I mean, you'd have to find a way to get it past the mortal security and all the rich, you know, rich snotty people who live here. Not everyone here's a bad
the
person.
organization has a way of doing that. We personally may have struggled, but others would not.
We'll talk to Stogie.
I am fully imagining that we are getting subtitles in our heads.
In Ned's mind, he's just imagining that we're going to have to put on like a ghost talent show so that everybody can show off their abilities. And he's just not sure how to express that to people yet because basically there's ghost dancing in his head.
Brilliant.
So, I mean, I'm more than happy, given my humanitarian efforts in life, to be the, I guess, ghost union representative. I'm more than happy to talk to people who are willing to talk and willing to listen. But yeah, this is a problem. And I don't know if it's one that can be easily solved once you know ghosts are actually real. I mean, there are ways to get a ghost to move on when there being a problem. I understand that, but there's a lot of angry ghosts here. You've only met some of them.
I imagine so.
Looks at Leonard Bernstein, says, "Can't be any more difficult than getting out of Vietnam."
Oh, well, thank you for your service. This is. He's been playing this whole time, and it's amazing. So yeah, I guess y'all are left with an interesting philosophical, ethical question of like, how do you deal with this? And Leonard is more than happy to introduce you to other not angry ghosts. Again, John Lennon will not be appearing in this game because they're an asshole. But yeah, there are other ghosts like Rosemary Clooney's around sometimes. The guy from Steely Dan, which Shay, you have no idea what that is. Sad face, I feel old. But yeah, he's pretty chill. And
I'm sorry, the only person on the list whose name I recognize is someone who I would probably get in an argument with.
that happens.
I feel like that's part of what started the problem also.
But yeah, so yeah, you're left with an interesting problem, and Fran is like, okay, and so Fran has to go look for some local mediums, and figure out, okay, the options are get rid of the angry ghost specifically, but that's a long-term process because there's a lot of them, and fetters are not cut and dry. 2, cleanse the whole building and hope the nice ghosts don't go away. Because yeah, when you start talking to the local New Yorkers, and it's like, yeah, you detonate a spiritual atomic bomb here, and you've killed another part of New York.
Yeah, which is why I dropped that idea when I realized there were nice ghosts around. It's like, wait.
Like, you don't necessarily know that
all murder ghosts. I will literally kill the history of this building if I take that route.
Yeah, and like Leonard's like not sure if he would be affected, but he can't be sure he wouldn't be, and it's like, So, yeah. So y'all are left with the thorny problem. I would have hoped you'd had more time to talk about and figure out, but we're 45 minutes over time because
Yeah.
you were disarmed by a doorman. But that's Demon Hunter sometimes. So
doors continue to be a problem.
So, thank you, chat, for sticking with us, even though another game went over. When I thought I didn't have enough plot, I just should stop thinking that ever.
Yes.
It's like Vansel's Farther All arc back.
Yeah. Welcome to part 5 of 4-part series.
Yep.
That was
in the increasingly inaccurately named Hitchhiker's Trilogy.
Yeah, I have always found that players can make more story than you expected, and it can be a lot of fun. But it's like, oh, I'm just going to have to throw out this chapter now because
this dungeon is getting shorter and shorter by the minute," said Matt Vansel. And I think Pretzel just gave out too. Oh, Pretzel's buffering. All right, shut up. Jazz music. Canned jazz music. All right, well, thank you, chat, for sticking with us this long, or watching the VOD this long. We appreciate it. We're just sorry we can't give you channel points for watching the VOD. The GM is Chrysala. I'm running all of our social medias, and now our Discord is open to fans/viewers. I guess we'll accept hate views, but why would you want to be on our Discord when we have a banhammer? But yeah, and this is Demon Hunters, a comedy of terrors. If you like the idea of this weird Cortex Fate hack system, you can get they might still have copies of the fantasy book on the various Fantasy Network sites, which I'll go look for a link. Also, you could probably just find it a PDF on DriveThruRPG. Plus, this is one of the Creative Commons things that Zoe does. So you can find indie published supplements from other writers who do lots of fun stuff with this, and we're friends with some of them. And
there's actually a Demon Hunters world Bible that'll go into greater depth in like the universe and the world and different things within it that should be coming out in the not too distant future.
Woot! So yeah, and so also follow Zombie Orpheus and the Fantasy Network because they also have fun, wacky movies and short films based in this universe of the world where all of the stories are real. All of the creation myths exist simultaneously as truth. In that way, that myth is always truth. And like I said, it's like the World of Darkness, only funny on purpose.
And if you want to see a bad but very funny 1990s college film called Demon Hunters, you can catch that on the Fantasy Network and see where it all began.
Yep.
That's one of my favorites, not gonna lie.
Yeah, same here.
A bunch of... Yep.
That's why I ended up, I met these guys and I saw their film and it was terrible and fabulous. And I said, you know what? I am just finishing up my degree in camera and lighting. You could use my help. I'd like to see you guys do a better job, and got involved in working with them on the Gamers.
Let me help you help yourselves. So yes, this is, if you know the Gamer series, Hands of Fate and all that, this is the same company that made those movies. Demon Hunters is lesser known, which is sad, because it's a really fun universe that they've built. Very much a game system built by improv people. Where it's
if you want to know why it's so lesser known and why there hasn't been further Demon Hunters, there's the Demon Hunters short. I can't remember what the name of that short is, but in the recent short films that were done in the Demon Hunters world, there's one that involves Dwarmithrax that is explains exactly why there's no, flagship Demon Hunters film other than the 2 college films they made.
Well, yeah. Also, all of those...
and then COVID hit.
That too.
Anyway.
Yeah, and pretty much
it's
all
hard
of
to get
them...
people to work for no pay when you're not even at school on campus anymore.
Yeah.
So all of those are available on the Fantasy Network to watch. Also, I think still free to watch on YouTube, probably with ads, because YouTube forces everyone to have ads now.
Yeah, I recommend check out the Fantasy Network. YouTube doesn't pay.
Yeah.
And so trying to support the Fantasy Network where independent artists can actually gain income off of it is always a better way to go.
Yeah. And it's not... Fantasy Network is what, $5?
Most of the stuff on Fantasy Network is free. The vast
Oh.
majority of it is free. All the Zoe stuff currently is all free. You can watch anything from Zoe on there without having to pay. You may want to sign up and get a account, but you don't even need to do that for most of the content. There's Roku apps and iPhone and Android apps and things
Oh,
like
and
that.
Fadir makes a good point. If you already have Amazon Prime, some of the Gamers movies and Journey Quest are on Amazon Prime, so watch that and help their metrics, please.
Yeah, almost all the stuff is on Amazon Prime, and all the bigger names Zoe stuff. I don't think the 2 Demon Hunter films are.
Okay.
But yeah, watching it there is a great way to support.
So
as well.
I'm gonna go. So yes, hello. I was the GM tonight. If we ever have in-person Gen Con again, I will be running this at Gen Con. Oh well, this year I'll be running it at Digital Gen Con, but maybe my metaverse version again, because I worked really hard on that and it turned out really well. But yeah, me and you might see me and Dracus someday at Gen Con running this, or other cons, because it's a really easy game to run as a one-shot. If you couldn't
really
tell
is.
already. So yeah, I'm the GM. I'm Ms. Chrysala. If you're talking to us on social media, you're probably talking to me. And that is my outro while I go look for someone to raid. Shay, who are you when you are alive? Like, properly alive. Like, maybe not this week, because finals, but generally you're properly
Yeah.
alive.
I'm Dracus. You can find me online as actual Dracus, like I am in chat here. I'm mostly on Discord, but yeah. That's it. I don't do much else.
Soon. Alright, Spot, you want to do an outro?
Sure.
About
yeah,
you!
I'm Mark Thomason. I run the studio for Zombie Orpheus Entertainment. And so we've got our Monday night and Wednesday night shows, The Reliables and Void Jumpers. So I do a lot of the tech and behind the scenes work on those. And then the only time you can really see me in person these days is on Zoe Game Night, which is Thursday nights. You can join us on Twitch or in Discord if you want to play along with us. And we play. Currently been playing a lot of Jackbox games. We're playing some other board games and other interactive games. But basically, we try and have Zoe staff and cast and crew playing games with our fans. So we'd have you participate. So come check us out there. And we've been talking about Fantasy Network and Demon Hunters and that all along. So if you haven't figured out who I am, you're probably not paying close attention. Ned? Andy?
Oh, yeah, I forgot I'm here. Because you guys do so much fascinating stuff. I'm Andy. I wish I worked for Zombie Orphans. I really do. Love those guys. But no, I run Warp Films. I'm around on the internet, usually Warp_films on Twitter or something like that. So you can find everything else. The main thing I'm doing right now is I'm hosting and running Trick Roll on Geeky Side. It's a Roku channel. It's also on the internet, Geeky Side TV.
Woohoo! Alright, so, let's raid Jessica Nerdy, because not a lot of people are on Saturday night. Except a lot of goth DJs, which I follow, but I feel like supporting another nerd streamer tonight.
Makes sense.
Good plan.
Jessica Nerdy does a lot of hyper RPG stuff, which was the first Twitch channel I started watching because Zoe was on it, because Zoe was at Gen Con and it's like, watch us on Twitch, and I'm like, what's that? And it's like, Metaverse Season 2! I'm like, ooh, or whatever season it was, they ended up started working for the founders. And I think that was 2. Yeah, Jessica Nerdy, she also does a lot of Warhammer stuff. Or, does she do Warhammer? She hangs out a lot with the guy who does Warhammer, whose name I am now blanking on, and my brain is just, it's late. We're an hour over time. Okay.
Yeah.
So thank you for hanging out with us, or watching us later, or what have you. Come by. Next week, I will be recovering from my second vaccine shot, so we'll still not be playing Exit to Eden. And then the week after that is the Dark Crystal game, which I will be running off a cliff into a volcano if I have to, because that's my birthday game, and the birthday girl gets to do what she wants.
Excited for that one. I'm looking forward to that.
So, yep, and yeah, I think that. So yeah, so we might, we'll see what we're doing next week. It might be more Demon Hunters. It might be something completely different. I'm looking forward. I am enjoying the mystery. And so About to go rage esque nerdy? Alright. Chat, take care of yourselves, take care of each other. I hope we distracted you for a few hours of your confusing week. And we will see you next week in some form. Bye!
Hi guys, thanks for watching.